All right, everybody. This is episode 213, flagship show Monday night, Tales from the Flipside. We got big things to talk about. Obviously, the title, Heritage International OA Anime
Yo.
Auction. We're about to do it. Let's hit the button. Let's go.
Tales from the Flipside. Flip side.
Man, we got so much stuff to go over. We used up all the spaces in StreamYard.
Oh,
absolutely crazy. I've only done that a couple of times.
Look good.
So 7's max? Is that the deal?
No, 10's max. He meant the spaces on that when you upload all the stuff.
Oh,
all the screens.
Yeah, I'm adding them right now.
What's happens when you get cool shit.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. Yeah. 34 live. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. Appreciate you. We got a fun show tonight. Lots to talk about. We've got the OA auction. We have got Batman to talk about. We've got a huge market report, and we've got Mikey Halpern joining us. What's up, brother?
Yo, gang. How y'all doing?
Doing good. I'm gonna put you in the middle just so everybody can see you.
Mikey in the middle. Mikey in the middle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So
thanks for having me.
Big huge auction is it going on right now? What's going on here?
T minus, I don't know, a few days. Let me give you the exact date.
I'm gonna bring up the
I think it's Thursday. Yeah, T minus.
I saw getting some good pre
bids.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna get much bigger than that. I mean, this is it's everyone waits to the last minute on these kinds of things. I'd buy almost all of these at their
it's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. I'm just gonna go through it while we're talking about it a little bit, just because it's so all the crazy stuff. First thing that really I saw that really blew me away was this right here.
This thing's nuts. Yeah, this thing's ridiculous. And so this is one of the best Akira images, like, period. Like, this thing is out of this world. And not only is it like, just Akira in a nutshell, with the main guy. I think his name that's Tetsuo, I believe is his name. And he's on the red bike, but it was also used, that same frame was used for the VHS tape.
Oh,
so
wow.
For the American release, exactly.
Just twisting it around.
So it's not just like, the shot from the show that's perfect, which it also is. It's a pan cell, so it's not like a normal typical cell that's just like, like around this size. It's like fucking boom.
So it's big, like OA size.
Yeah. This thing's gonna sell. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like giving prices for things before they sell, but if
whatever number you think it is, go higher, right?
Well, I mean, if it doesn't sell for $50,000, I'll buy it. Like that means I'm the owner.
So it's two pieces. It comes with the overlay and then the backdrop, which is the blue.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So yeah.
And I'm not positive, but I mean, maybe the blue is the same background for this, or it's a production one. I'm not sure, but it looks kind of similar.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. But that I'm not positive about.
By far the first thing that I saw that I went, holy shit.
That's my favorite piece in this auction. And there's plenty more. But and then the Tetsuo next to it. Oh, the space pirate's sick.
Yeah.
So it's really, really scarce. I don't think it's scarce. I think it's unique. I don't think there's ever been one where he's like next to the flag. And I mean, just getting a great image of this show because of just how old it is. What year did it come out? It's like I think later 70s. I believe.
See the tape on the side.
Yeah. But these are super, super scarce to get in good condition, and this one's mint, to say the least. So if you're a space pirate fan, like this is what you need, with a master background too. I mean, it's legit.
What does that mean? Explain what that means. That's
so that means it's a real so there's a master background, then there's a key master background. So master background means it's like from the same episode. So like, it's still like it's production background from the show, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's from that exact same shot. So this could have been like, 1 or 2 frames over. But it's still like basically right there. And, so it's master backgrounds are awesome. Key master backgrounds. That's even
wild.
Mm-hmm. But most of the time when you're buying cells, like you're lucky if you're just getting an original background.
Yeah, this is the one you were saying. It just jumped on me. Hold on. This one right here is the one you were about. God damn it! What is going on here?
It's all good. It's all good.
Hold on. Let me give it a second here. There we go.
Yeah, no, that one's Tetsuo. That's Tetsuo, the main character. Well, main character villain. This is right when he kind of realizes that he has his superpowers.
Hey, spoiler, man! Spoiler.
Oh!
If you haven't seen it by now, I think.
Yeah,
once we show the VHS, man, I think you're good.
Yeah. By the way, we will be talking about Batman later tonight, so spoilers be damned.
If you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
it's amazing.
I'm sacrifice it for you guys.
Oh yeah, brother.
And there's some great Batman pieces in this auction. Also.
Yeah, you got even more Space Pirates stuff.
A lot more than just animation art that's in here.
Yeah, Brian, I got.
You got stuff.
Let's let him.
Yeah, I got
through
this.
the.
All right. Let's see what you got.
I saw some Astro Boy. I love that stuff.
Let's see. So we saw it. Let's do. I guess I kind of didn't do it in any order, Mikey. So this is like ASM 252. I think page 14 or 50, whatever. 14.
Yeah, this is nuts. This page
shit. After that last image, holy crap! What'll this one do?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, this. Yeah, if that other one's 3 point whatever, then this one's. And this is $1 million too, I guess. I mean, I'd be shocked, but
it's not. I mean, it's not a splash page, but it's still a nice page.
Exactly. And it's like, I mean, a lot of Spider-Man action. He's in most of the panels. He's in 5 out of the 6 panels, and you see him perfectly. And it's from issue 252, which that's a better issue than Secret Wars 8, at least more expensive. At least a more expensive issue. And I mean, pages just like that just don't show up ever. And,
hey, Mikey, for pages like this, can you get them graded?
Or
at least, can you get them graded where someone says like OA and then maybe not a grade, but encased and kind of certifies it?
PGX is doing that actually.
Come on!
Look,
throw some other letters together.
Say what you want about PGX. And I wouldn't typically, recommend people grade with them. Not so much because of their quality, but I mean they've rebranded pretty well. I wish they changed their name a little bit, but they've got a new guy that's kind of running the show, Rob Pillsbury. And I mean, he's a really good guy. Now that being said, like you're not going to get the same amount of money from grading PGX.
Well, but does grading OA even matter? I mean,
that's what I was
only
about
one.
to say.
Well,
Yeah.
The one thing is, I would think that you just want it to be encapsulated in something so it's safe. Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, you're talking that stuff. You're putting it behind museum glass if you want to show it off.
But also like. You get to know exactly all the information on there too, because you see this and the average person doesn't know who did this, who did the artwork or what page it's from, or that kind of thing. So it is kind of cool to have your OA graded.
It would be
rip out a piece of paper or spiral bound
as a certification,
yeah. Because also
kind of like the art grade. It is what it is.
Too. There's tons of fakes out there.
Yeah.
People who do perfect recreations. I mean, there was a scandal out there not too long ago about there was one fairly recent that Heritage got a consignment of, which was I believe it was the Science 2 cover or Science 1 cover.
Oh.
And it looked perfect. Lou Fine did it. It was aged appropriately. It looked awesome. And I mean, they got it checked out, found out that it was not the original cover. Still a great recreation. I think they still sold it for like, you know, $5,000 or something, you know, because it was still a dope recreation. You know, if it was the real cover, it would have been, I don't know, $500,000 or something.
Well, I mean, who knows if the seller probably didn't even know it? They had just picked it up somewhere.
Well, exactly. So like, but that kind of stuff happens all the time in art, where, you know, people don't know what they have, or fans have made, you know, really great recreations and you can't really tell the difference. So, you know, to get that kind of stuff verified is important. Now, is it necessary? Not 100%. Like, I mean, there's enough big guys out there to, like, you know, make sure, but to a layman, it could really be helpful.
This is New Mutants 22.
I love this. That's just the coolest Nightcrawler.
That's a beautiful double splash.
Yeah, I'd buy this. This is dope. Nightcrawler is one of my favorite characters here. It's dope.
Yeah, what's the current bid on that?
Let me look. I don't know. Let me pull the Instagram. I can actually.
Brian, why don't you look at that while
world beautiful?
If I do,
yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, because it'll jump up behind you.
Yeah, I got you. No big deal. I'll just look on.
17.5 is current bid, and so like, yeah. If it stays anywhere over there, I'll be the owner. No, that thing's out of this world gorgeous.
That's a beautiful piece.
Yeah. From New Mutants, it's just, I mean, it's just beautiful. Yeah. It's just beautiful.
Next on the list is a little different. It's not an image. It's Magic the Gathering sealed deck, right?
Yep, sealed
certified
beta
by who?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I was about to say certified by who?
Yes,
make sure it's not G.I. Joe cards hiding behind that fucking Magic the Gathering.
No, if Logan Paul buys it, then we'll switch it out.
Yeah.
No, these are highly verified, and
yeah,
the Heritage is some of the best Magic experts out there.
You know who I heard is a huge Magic the Gathering collector?
Who?
And you probably know, but a lot of people out in the community won't. Post Malone.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I hear he's good. I hear he's not only a collector, he's like good.
Yeah, he plays. Yeah.
Like he fucking takes people out.
Yeah.
He's good.
So this is already pre-bid 21,000.
Yeah. That's If it doesn't go any higher, I'll be the bidder. I think the last one of these sold for 80, 70, 80. These are really, really scarce. And like,
how many do you think there are out there? Got an idea?
I'm not the guy to ask about the population report, especially on cards, because but they definitely a lot less than Pokemon. A lot less than Pokemon. Because, you know, when they were making these, it was really new age. I mean, it was kind of the first real card game. Yep. I mean, there were, I think, other little ones before this, but like, this is when it really started pumping. I don't know exactly how many alphas they made, but it wasn't many. And then, you know, that did well enough for them to make the beta set, which is, you know, just the second editions. And then after that comes the unlimited, which is all still the same. So it's like the same thing, like with Pokemon, where it has, you know, first edition, shadowless, then ultimate. But
did these first come out in the early 90s, like 92, 93?
I feel like it came out 80s.
Was it before that? Okay.
No,
I could be wrong.
On yours it says 93.
93.
Yeah, it is alpha blue green. Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see what else we got down here.
Yeah, I'm far from a Magic expert, but
if you know any, I'd love to get some on here to come talk about that stuff with us.
Oh, I do. Oh, I know a guy who would love to do that. The Heritage comic grader.
Oh, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Brian?
He would love to sit around and
let's get him on here.
He would love to. Absolutely. But yeah, this is a great image from Castle in the Sky. Anything Studio Ghibli is like as sought after as it gets. And to have an action shot from this movie, I mean, it's sick. So I mean, I got a copy of it right here. This is the demo tape.
I see a theme here.
I try to be prepared. I try to be prepared.
Oh, love it.
But boom, yeah, I've never seen another demo tape of this. I have no clue what it's worth, but you know, I'm really banking on it.
When you have no clue what it's worth, that's good stuff.
I know what I wouldn't sell it for. I probably
Exactly.
I probably wouldn't take $5,000 for it just because of speculation, but that could be really stupid. You know, I've never seen another. But that being said, those Studio Ghibli pieces, they're large format. So keep in mind, like these are Studio Ghibli. The normal cells are, normal cell size. Studio Ghibli ones are always larger because they're more detailed. And it's just, it's Miyazaki. Like
this is one of the cooler things I like. This is
this thing's badass.
Yeah, Gotham City. It's not Sirens. It's Gotham City. He sent this to me. Hold on 1 second. Gotham City. Let me find it. Oh, City Chronicles.
Yeah, it's more modern. It's a more modern thing. But still, just dope. I'm not. I need to check on the website what it was used for. But it's just
a role playing game, some kind of big RPG game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
That's an amazing, just spread.
Yeah, beautiful image and big. Yeah, it's 27 by 14, made in 2021.
It's at 10.5.
Well, that's the thing is sometimes some of these things that aren't like pure comic art are kind of where you can get a nicer piece that gonna get a little better price point in. Everybody's going after the splash pages and that, and you might be able to score something cool when you kind of get off that beaten path a bit.
And this thing would look like over your bed.
No, yeah, it'd be sick.
So damn fucking cool. Oh my god, that thing would look sick. That thing would look so cool. And it's so it's a foreign artist. It's just awesome. It's awesome.
I don't have these in any kind of order. What's this one? Dragon Ball Z, little Dragon Ball Z action.
Yeah. I'm biased on this one, but I think it's the coolest cell that's in the auction. It's from the Vegeta nightmare scene. So basically, when everybody else became Super Saiyan before Vegeta did, he's a really prideful kind of guy. He was having this nervous breakdown where it shows two people who have already reached Super Saiyan and not him. And this shot is just like as Dragon Ball Z as it gets, with Goku and Trunks, two the main character, and then a lot of people's other favorite character together. Aura, everything, full on Super Saiyan. And not only that, this image was so loved that they ended up turning it into a trading card. So
I can show
that. We probably ought to not tell our friend about that one.
So that piece is just out of this world sick. And so what it's called, so it's an animation cell, but when they use it as a promotional material, it's also called a Hankin. And that exact same frame, we matched it and everything. It's the exact same frame from that cell is on that card. From every line to the aura, from every shadow, everything is the exact same. So that card is the exact piece of art used for that.
That's
wild.
Sounds like that one's coming home with you.
I think it's gonna go for a lot. I think that one's gonna go for a lot. Dragon Ball Z is what I collect the most. I'd say I have a pretty mean Dragon Ball collection. I love animation art. I think it's a fantastic investment. To be able to own your favorite images from a TV show, and it's be not that horrifically expensive is really, really cool. Because when you compare it to other collectibles, what's $100,000 get you anymore in comic books? Like a 5.0 AF-15. It's kind of embarrassing. But $100,000 in animation art, you could get the absolute best piece on the planet. You could get the first time Goku turned Super Saiyan for $100,000 or less. Wow. So something as iconic as that, as Dragon Ball Z, which is the 15th largest franchise of all time, 3rd largest anime of all time. It's what's known as popularized. It's what's popularized anime in the United States. Before that, it wasn't really in Western culture. I mean, it's a hugely prolific show. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball GT, now Dragon Ball Super, and now there's a movie coming out this year, and there's already been like, I don't know, 20, 30 movies, but there's another heavily anticipated movie coming out this year. Yeah, it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope.
Mikey, what's this about, Mikey? This premium 31 premium DVD set?
So truthfully, I don't know. Okay. It's beautiful though. I can't tell you much about it without just reading the description, but it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. It is. I mean, it was clearly used for a DVD set. I don't know what the show is, but I don't know. Go over the description. I'll try to tell you. I'll read it.
I don't know. It just says you'll see 31. It must be some kind of season, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably a current popular show. Yeah. But truthfully, I mean, I can't bullshit you. I don't really. Okay. I don't really know.
So that one, there's some Meta Barons. So this is another cool panel.
Yeah, again, this isn't something that's my expertise.
Yeah,
but
we're just showing stuff. This is all. I think this is the same thing.
It's just sci-fi stuff. Yeah, wow factor
gorgeous.
On them.
The artwork is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just cool.
This next one I saw posted somewhere and people were talking about it.
This is gonna be big. This one's gonna be big. I'm actually a little upset that I put this one on there because I really want to win it.
Well, we just do this. No, I'm joking.
Yes, that's the cover.
You did not see this.
Yeah, you know what? Just go to the next one. Go to the next one.
I saw some Pokemon art go up on eBay a while back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna nab that," and it just blew out of the water at the last minute.
I mean, you see what the cards bring, and it's like, why would you spend that kind of money on the card that's so common when you can buy these original pieces of artwork that
they just don't know yet?
I mean, they're one of one. So like, if you go back to that Pokemon thing, I think that's the number 2 for the manga, for the Pokemon manga.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just sick. To own any original manga art, period, is next to impossible because most of that's all owned by the production company. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where this came from. Like, I don't know how they were able to secure this.
Fell off a truck, man.
Yeah, fell off a truck.
Some kind of convention thing where they're like, I don't know if this is going to work.
No, but this thing's going to be a war. I can't imagine I win it. I think it's already at $7,000, which is is going to be a fraction of what it ends at. This thing's beautiful.
This is another thing. And your Europe guy told you this is like supposed to be roughly 20,000, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, that's UFO robot. I can't read the last word, but it's one of the most famous robot shows back from the 70s. Giant promotional piece. It is absolutely stunning. I assume I think it was used as a giant poster. But yeah, it's huge. It's huge and it's just sick. And the following and it's one of those shows that like kind of gave birth to all the shows like Gundam and the big robot fighting animes that everybody is obsessed over. So
this one's one of my favorites too because I remember this from watching the show.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one. Yeah. I got a couple.
Shit, I'm gonna sell a book, gentlemen. I might have to buy that guy.
No, that one's stunning. I've got two Pokemon cells, and so I've got this one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
This one's gorgeous. It's not as good as that one though. It's not as good as that one.
I know. It's still nice.
I'm missing a few people, but still beautiful.
Why do we do these shows again? Because now all I want to do is buy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't get why you'd buy, like, spend like a base set Pikachu in 10 is like, I don't know, like $4,000 or something like that for a first edition Pikachu. Why would you do that when you can buy this for like 5 or 10 grand?
Yeah.
Like that, this is much cooler. And it's like, it's used from the show. You memorize it. You can actually like hang it up, put it on your wall. It's true production art. It's a true scene from the show. And it's just sick. And when I see a Charizard in first edition that has, 200 graded in PSA 10 sell for $250,000, and then I see animation selling for, like $1,000 to $10,000 for Pokemon, for good ones, just doesn't make a lot of sense for me.
Well, I think it's because like the cards have an older generation of people in it, and this animation, like my kid is going to be obsessed with that.
Well, absolutely. And the thing is,
that's what he knows.
Too. People like things that, are a little more compact. And, when you grew up trying to grab all these cards and collect them and that whole thing. But I mean, I also think people don't exactly understand what animation art is yet. Because like, I go to shows and set up and like, I put something like this out and people go up to me and they go, "Oh, how much for the poster?" I'm thinking that thinking it's like, oh, it's like some $20, $30, $40, $50 item. And I'm like, it's $5,000.
I guess the question is, I don't think people, I don't know what the concept of how much is out there though, too.
Well, for animation art?
Well, like something like Pokemon, there's 1,000 episodes,
Well, that's true, but only the first season of Pokemon has cells.
See, that's what I wanted to get to is how far along does it go out that it's truly produced that way.
It does get limited. And then also, you got to understand that most of the area is filler. So
most of it's crap cells.
They're not trying to they're trying to make it as cheap as possible. So there's not really that many frames that are good frames. And then have ones that have like awesome shots, like where you see Pikachu and Ash with his mouth open, like that's awesome. But there's going to be a frame that looks just like that where they look derpy. And that's not like going to sell for near the same amount of money. Like for this sell, for instance, Sotheby's just sold one that looked just like this. Except the difference was Pidgey's wings were down and Pikachu didn't look quite as cool. So it sold for just under $5,000. So I figure this one, because it's more, majestic and a better, more fun image, it's probably worth more like $6,000 or $7,000.
Yeah.
But yeah. Woo. But I mean but
you look at the old 80s art and they're selling you 200 shitty cells for every decent one.
Exactly. There's so many. This one I'm fighting for. This one is so good.
Yeah, I got this one and I got this other Dragon Ball Z one right here, and this kind of wraps up the whole, at least what you sent me. Somewhat.
Wow.
So
yeah, that one's fantastic too. But the Majin Vegeta's, that one's stunning. So there's 3 characters in Dragon Ball that are the most valuable. And that would be there's Gogeta, which is the fusion of Goku and Vegeta, and he only appeared in one episode and in one movie, so he's super scarce to get. Then there's Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus Trunks, versus Cell. So that's just an awesome scene. And then there's Majin Vegeta's the fan favorite, because people have always loved Vegeta, and the whole arc of him being Majin Vegeta and turning into his most evil form to being to realizing how much of a dick he was and literally sacrificing himself to try to save the planet. It's to a little kid, that's beautiful. It really shows, just character growth, because that's what it is. He's this guy that's overly prideful and then realizes how much of a dick he's been and literally blows himself up to try to save everybody.
For the record, I was a Piccolo fan.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love Piccolo. But that Majin Vegeta cell also is the and I have it somewhere here. I just don't have it out. I forgot to grab it. But it's also a cover of a VHS tape. That exact same frame is the cover of a VHS tape. That Majin Vegeta with young Trunks. That's a really, really great image. I'm going to be bidding strong on that. That one's stunning.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
How many times a year is Heritage been doing the animation cell stuff?
So they really just started about a year ago. And it's taken off big time. So they have US auctions, and this one's this is Heritage Belgium. So they've got the one run by Jim Lentz, that's Heritage in Dallas, and then there's Olivier who runs it in Belgium. And I mean, they're both just fantastic. Because there's a really large comic scene overseas, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're different buyers because there's a lot of French comics out there, a lot of foreign comics, German comics, and like that we just never paid attention to. But as far as cell collectors go, really the US, we haven't been the cell collectors. It's mostly been people in obviously Japan, China, but like South America, Europe, like those were the countries that were that were purchasing them. Only recently has cell collecting become more prevalent in the States, which is why I think it's a really good time to like get into it, because I mean, just the potential growth of these scenes is like really like, God, to get a great scene, it's really not that expensive.
We for the record, people were talking about X-Men, so these are some X-Men anime, just on just some cells on eBay. So,
I don't recommend spending that much.
Correct. I mean, no, this stuff. I mean, these are signed by Stan Lee, but there's some cool stuff there. I mean,
definitely.
It's not the same. I mean, it is, but it's not.
I know.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's not that I don't recommend buying X-Men cells. It's just that at those prices, that's wacky. Yeah. But like you said, signed by Stan Lee, I understand. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's who you love.
But Stan adds a couple $100 to everything, but not a couple grand usually.
But yeah, like I mean, but cell collecting is just, it's so cool to own a piece of to be able to own the scene from one of your favorite shows, or to be able to own a meme or something like that.
Don't even get started on that.
When Vegeta goes over 9,000 or something like that, or the He-Man, hey, yay, yay, yay. Like, God, I have no idea what those would go for. I mean, they might not. I mean, maybe they're only, sell for 10 times more than a regular cell. Maybe they sell for 100 times more. I don't know.
We looked at the original art last week for a Deadpool page that sold, but I don't think people realized what it was. But it's that famous Deadpool meme for like common sense meme. And it sold. The original art sold last week for some cheap, ridiculous number.
Oh, that's terrible.
See,
and I was like, and that's exactly what I was thinking. If it was a meme, it would be like people are going to be looking for those things super heavy in the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
Are people worried about counterfeit
cells? The Batman Robin slap? Oh shit!
Yeah. Hey, Mikey, are there worrisome about having counterfeit production cells?
Yeah, dude. There's tons of them. Yeah, dude. There's a ton of counterfeits out there, and fan-made ones. So like, yeah, you should be worried, but to do it correctly and do it well, now that's where it gets hard. In every collectible, you have to be worried about there being fakes. But there's just easier ones out there to fake. That's
also why you go through either a very trusted vendor and those kind of places.
Exactly. But like, I mean, why fake a cell when you can print a card out? Like, it's just, there's things that are easier. Why do that when you can literally make gold and like just hollow it out? and put in some other metal in the inside to make the weight the same. Like there's just so many easier things to counterfeit. That being said, yes, there absolutely are. And there's some that are just like not even meant to be counterfeits, just like in comic art, where it's fan-made items, and they just did a really good job. And those actually still sell for, you know, decent money. Like you can get like a beautiful cell, fan-made cell. I'm trying to think. It's called a Dujin. Dujin is what a fan-made cell is, and yeah, those can still sell for a few $100 if they're really good ones. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're, you know, advertising it as such. But
yeah, you know, you'd be a nice little display piece for a decent amount.
Yeah. And I buy on Yahoo Japan all the time, so I'm up late, you know, bidding on stuff or seeing what gets posted.
Yahoo, you go on Yahoo Japan, buddy. Yeah, that's where the dirty stuff lives.
But regularly I'll see fake items on there. But like, I mean, once you kind of get used to it, you know what the colors are supposed to look like, and like a fake cell you can see from a mile away once you're used to it. So people who are in it, like, I mean, it's just like when you're in comic books or video games or VHS tapes, or like, you know, when I first started doing VHS, like I didn't know what a reseal was. Like I could never tell, but now I could, like, without even seeing the watermarks, just feel the plastic. I'll know it's resealed. Same thing with cells. It's like, oh, I'll just see the colors and be like, oh, that doesn't look right. It's really, to make a perfect fake of anything, it's near impossible. And if they're able to catch it in cards, which is the most prevalent, I would say it is, making fake, you know, Charizards or Jordans or, you know, that kind of stuff, they can easily catch it with animation art. I'm not worried at all about that being an issue. But obviously you got to educate yourself and have people that, you know, that you trust, that are educated. Because like I've got two friends that really helped me with animation art. I started collecting animation art about 2 years ago. And they're Josh Cigaretti and Yaniv Elenkrai. So Stray Flexen and Zeno on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And their collections are kick ass. And they're great
guy.
Stray is a great guy, dude.
Yeah, I tried to get Yaniv to come on today and talk about cells because he's even more knowledgeable than I am, but he was a little camera shy. So yeah. I don't think that was the reason. I think it was because he was having a tough day. He's trying to immigrate to the United States.
Oh no!
And it's not. And it's like, you know, he should just come here illegally already. He should just do it. Like, but he's trying to do it right. He's trying to do it right, and you know, it's COVID and everything's slowing him down, and so it's just gonna
be a pain in the ass.
Exactly. So in my opinion is he should just do what everyone else does. Just come here legally. I mean, I won't tell.
Nobody watches the show.
Nobody watches the show. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, Mikey, for coming on and talking about, you know.
Yeah, I learned some stuff I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I didn't know stuff often, I wanted. Man.
Well, no, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
And these guys know I have an attention span of a mite, so I'll be buying foreign freaking versions of this stuff. Oh God.
Well, this is going to be a really fun market, for a fun auction in general, just because there's so much in it. I think there's a full Exodia set too, if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean, there's great comic book art and foreign comic book art and fantastic image of Joker. And I mean, way more shows than just Dragon Ball. And I mean, it's sweet. And a lot of Ghibli. There's a lot of Ghibli. Porco Rosso, Castle in the Sky. I think Kiki's Delivery Service is in there. There's a Princess Mononoke.
Wow.
Which I got the VHS tape for that on here.
I love it.
This is the big one that's going to be going in the heritage auction in August. In August. Is this right here.
Oh, somebody blow that up.
I got you, bro.
So this is probably the most expensive cell that I own. I mean, this is hard to compete with. This is 4-layer complete keymaster setup from the peak scene of Princess Mononoke, where she's trying to save the boar god from the evil maggot corruption, and he's just not listening. And it's right towards the end of the movie, gory, and I mean, to find something complete like this for Ghibli is, I mean, you never see things like this. So these are the types of pieces that have, I mean, is it 20 grand or is it 100 grand? I don't know, but it's a ton of money. And like,
depends whose eyes are on it, man.
Wildly collectible. What'd you say?
It just depends whose eyes are on it that day.
Exactly. And this is something that I bought off Yahoo Japan. Buy it now. I was up at 4 a.m. It got posted at what I thought was a steal of a price, and I just screen matched it. I pulled up my computer, found the exact frame, looked at every little line for like 15-20 minutes. I pulled the trigger. It wasn't cheap. It was not cheap. And then you gotta hope it comes from Japan.
Yeah, I've bought books there. It's a maneuver and it's slow.
Yeah, but it's gonna be. I mean, I just have so much faith in the whole.
If you're an American buyer and you're used to things getting there in 3 days, when you go to foreign world and start shipping and things, man, you expand days to months and just wait.
No, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, there's 3 things that I recommend people buying right now. And number one is actually the animation art is number one, because I think being able to buy your favorite TV show, the best image from your favorite TV show, is like the coolest piece of nostalgia you can get. Number 2, VHS tapes. I think they're like mini movie posters, and the prices on them are still dirt cheap, and all of the major auction houses are adopting them, and it's the grading services are coming out, and they're just, the more you learn about them, the cooler they just look as mantelpieces. I mean, to get an early He-Man or something like that from 1983, this is impossible. I think this is the first He-Man VHS tape. I could be wrong. I would love if someone could give me some more information on it. I've never seen another one.
Even Sean's getting turned on now.
Like, I mean, it's just sick. It's sick. This is really, really awesome stuff. And like, it was really people don't give it kind of the credit and the paradigm shift that happened when VHS became a thing, or not just VHS, Betamax, later Laserdisc, all of that at-home entertainment. Before, you had your TV that had I don't know, 6 channels on it, and you could never pick what you could watch. So I guess you'd go outside and you'd play with sticks or something or other. I don't know.
Z, you ready for this one, Z? Here you go,
right,
Z. All for you, baby.
Oh, that's beautiful.
A little present action.
That's beautiful.
Ooh. It's a nice one.
Oh boy.
I'm not buying it though.
Well, yeah, it's gonna go for a little more than $2,000.
Yeah, right.
Just a little. But before that, there was no at-home entertainment that you could pick. So VHS was kind of the genesis that then led to video games, which then led to computers, which then led to streaming services, which then led to this, which led to that. So it's really like the start of at-home media, where you can pick and choose what you wanted to do, and people could finally be the introverts that we really want to be, and not leave our house.
Nico tried about an hour to explain it all to me, and I was trying to absorb it. And you just gotta figure out is that early period is wild, because there just wasn't a bunch.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, the scarcity of them is ridiculous.
Because you're used to seeing the ones from the 90s and 2000s where I can find 20 of those in 10 minutes.
Yeah. But that's not really what you're looking for. You're looking for stuff like this, where, I mean, there genuinely might not be another. And I mean, when these were being sold, this was I don't know, $80, $60 back in '83.
Which may as well be $300 now. Yeah,
a VHS player was $1,200. That's why VHS beat Betamax, was because the Betamax player.
Well, there's the big metal ones that popped up.
The Betamax is the
the VHS. Like you remember the big metal ones?
Oh yeah, I mean,
press button, it would pop up.
I remember you would rent them. You know.
Well, that's what you'd have to. That's what most people would have to do is rent them. Is rent them because they're just too expensive. So to find them sealed is.
I mean, renting the machines even early on.
Oh yeah, they did that. Yeah, absolutely, renting the machines because $1,200 or $2,400 for a Betamax machine. That is in the 80s.
Yeah.
In the 80s, now it sounds expensive. In the 80s, that was.
Oh yeah,
if you made that in a month, you were killing it. If you made that, so like no, it's just expensive. So the fact that any of these things kind of survived like that, also being rented regularly, it's pretty damn impressive.
Where do you buy your VHS tapes? I mean, where do you look for them the most?
Well, definitely eBay, but there's plenty of people that I talk to, and there's collections that I've purchased. But I spend way too much time on eBay. And
like the rest of us.
Yeah. Join the club.
And now I've gotten most of the mainstream big ones. Like, I've got an early Star Wars, and I've got first Back to the Future, and first Breakfast Club, that kind of stuff.
So when you were talking about just, the ones that are still wrapped, I mean, are you able to tell on eBay, hey, that looks legit?
Yeah, usually
not be able to touch it.
Yeah, because usually there's watermarks on them. So like you can know almost immediately, by that kind of stuff that, yeah, it's legit. But some of them are from rare production studios that don't have watermarks. And those ones are the ones that are really cool because those are the ones that were always collected. So like, for instance, this one that I got right here. Gourmet zombie chef from hell. This tape open is like $550, $600, something like that. Open. This is sealed. Never seen another one. And you can tell that it's legit by so kind of you have to tell it by really examining it and seeing if there's any dirt underneath it. Also looking at the seams, making sure that it's like, it's linear. It's where they're supposed to be, base it off of so this is by Camp Video. So if you have other tapes done by Camp Video, all of the wraps from Camp Video should look the same from that time period. So with all of that stuff accumulative, that's how you can kind of tell for those, but it's much more difficult. But still, it's really hard to find a tape that's like, if you find a box that's rewrapped, you can usually just tell because it's usually already been messed with. So like this one, for instance, there's no wear underneath it. There's no dirt underneath it. Like it'd be shocking to me for this to be resealed. Other ones, I don't know. There's others that are a little more questionable. But yeah.
Sometimes you just got to gamble.
Absolutely. There was one big gamble that I made early on. One of my favorite tapes that I got here. And thank God I made the gamble. This is the 1980 Omen.
Wow.
Only one of these I've seen. And I didn't know if it was legitimate. And I made a deal with the seller that I had somebody that, I really trusted examine it before I purchased it. So he mailed it to him, had him examine it. And that guy, because it has no watermarks on it, because in 1980, Magnet Video didn't have watermarks yet. We're still talking at a time where piracy wasn't exactly prevalent yet. Piracy became really prevalent in VHS because of how expensive it was. So it was really, so people, pirated tapes, sold them, did that whole thing. But back then they were just more focused on just getting people to buy the tape. But in 1980, there were no watermarks for Magnet Video. So there's no real way to tell other than by examining a bunch of other Magnet Videos from this exact same time period and them having the exact same similar, wrapping or feel to the plastic, which thank God this one has. So I'm like 95% certain this one's legit. But I could get bad news when I get it graded one day. But even still, finding a mint copy of this.
Who do you get to grade VHS tapes?
So
right?
I'm sorry. Would you ask?
Who grades VHS tapes?
So there's three companies. There's VHS DNA. There's IGS and VGA right now. And there's plenty on the horizon. The one that's coming in the soonest is Rewind, and that's been created by a very well respected video game collector, Dan Allegra, and he got the absolute best VHS expert I know. This guy named Danny, and this guy, his family not only owned video stores throughout California, but also was the #1 distributor for Mexican subtitled movies throughout the whole country. Oh, and wow. So he grew up working in all these video stores, and I just grew utterly obsessed with tapes. And this guy can like look at the bottom of the tape and know if it's the right release or not, like just by the grooves on the bottom of it. He's an absolute freak when it comes to this stuff. And so anyways, that's their expert. That guy is awesome. And Dan's goal is scaling, which has never been, I don't think, any grading service's goal is to get out products quickly. I don't think any grading service has ever thought of that before. So his goal is to get out 100 VHS tapes a day once they do their launch, which I think is either later this month or early next month, something like that. So I'm really looking forward to that one. But I mean, of the current options, I mean, IGS, they're very, very knowledgeable. I'm not a huge fan of their grading scale. I'm not a huge fan of their case, but I mean, they absolutely really know what they're doing when it comes to authentication. And I really trust what they put on their labels and the information that they put on their labels. They even put the weight of the tape on their labels, which is something that does really matter. Because you can have a slipcase for a tape that is older than the tape that's inside of the case because they didn't throw anything away. So if it's sealed still, you don't know really what's in it unless you do something to figure that out. And I mean, it's the same thing that WATA has to do for video games. They use magnets to figure out how many screws are in the carts and like that kind of stuff. So it's really important to do that kind of stuff to figure out releases. My personal favorite is VGA, who I think has the sleekest case by far. And VGA is also they're a super reputable company. They've been #1 in 2 different categories. They own AFA, which is #1 for action figures. And I mean, before WATA came around, I mean, they were the only people grading video games. And I mean, they were good at it. I mean, people, have their criticisms. I'm not a video game guy, so don't attack me. But I mean, from everything I've seen from them, they're really good and they back up everything that they say. So if they say something's authentic and it ends up not being, they'll pay for it, which I just really, really respect. Then VHS DNA, I can't say I recommend their service.
I like
Fair
that.
enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Good stuff, boys. Brian, you want to talk about? Let's talk about the Batman, bro. Let's rock the spoilers.
Oh my God!
You could mute Mikey.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, listen, I will say this. I think it was absolutely awesome, amazing, great fucking movie all around. Super long, didn't feel long at all to me because the whole time I was enthralled in the movie. There wasn't this is for me. There wasn't a slow part of the movie. I think that some of the things that stood out was how gritty it felt until the very end, and then it still felt kind of gritty, which is awesome. How close it felt to 7 is unbelievable, and that's a good thing. Trust me, it's a real good thing. The acting by Paul Dano was amazing. The acting by everybody was amazing. The only thing that I'll give a little bit of issue with is I think that Pattinson's Bruce Wayne felt too much like a young kid. Like the way he wore his hair, his hair would be down his eyes the whole time, and it was like, I mean, I get Nirvana is a big like deal for this movie, but like take his hair out of the main character's eye, anyways. But dude, here's another thing. Like I realized, and my buddy Keith told me, and I was like, holy shit, you're right. Like he has no mask on his jawline, right? So you can see his whole jaw. Christian Bale's mask should have been like that. Like that helps so much when he's Batman, and he's Batman 90% of the movie, and it just, for some reason, it makes that Batman better when you can see his whole bottom face, you know. The music part was awesome, not just that, considering every part of music in that movie was based on that Something Is in the Way song, which would have Kurt Cobain rolling in his grave, but it was still awesome. Even the dirge, whenever you would see Batman jump out of the shadows, you'd hear that dun dun dun. You know what I mean? The just the bass line for Something Is in the Way, really slow. It was so Matt Reeves killed it. Every part about it was great. The guys who he had playing Falcone, Turturro did a great job. Colin Farrell was amazing. Like I'm really gushing over this because it was that, right?
I still don't. Why? I mean, it's such heavy. You can't tell. It was so weird, though.
Yeah, you can't tell. It's hard to tell. Like even if you know.
So is he going to be in? I'm guessing the HBO Max has the Penguin series, so I'm guessing Colin Farrell is going to be the lead in that.
Yeah,
right.
Sure. And
that's the other good thing. Like, take heed. Every other movie, superhero movie out there, don't kill villains. Don't kill villains. It's so great that they didn't kill the villains in this. You know what I mean? Like, to have Riddler at the end, Riddler is going to come back. At some point, Penguin's going to come back at some point. Like that makes it. That's the thing that pisses me off so much about Marvel is they kill their villains. So, it's a bad.
Was that Leto?
No, that was Barry Keoghan, the guy in Eternals. So here's something cool about this. So
yeah, that was a big deal.
So what happened? Spoilers is at one point they're in Arkham, and you see the Riddler and Joker talking to each other. And you don't really see the Joker. You kind of see his face a little bit, so you can't really tell who's playing it. But the reason we know it's Barry Keoghan is because Matt Reeves came out and said that's Barry Keoghan. And he goes, I had originally shot a scene where Batman goes into Arkham to talk to Joker about how to stop Riddler, but I felt it just wasn't necessary. But I still wanted to put that thing in there where we see Joker and the Riddler talking to each other to build a relationship. The other thing that was amazing is when they were talking about Hush, and you saw the reporter was Tommy Elliott, and the Hush stuff come up, and that's where they're going next. Like they set the stage for Tommy Elliott and Hush, and the reason for him to be pissed, and they totally set the stage, man, which is great. The Long Halloween, to me, it felt like a mix between the Long Halloween and Year One, even though it was supposed to be Year Two in his life. There was a lot of things from Year One that they kind of pulled from Year One, like the whole crime thing, the Falcone story, Selena Kyle and Falcone being father and daughter. It was a masterpiece. I'll say that. It wasn't the best Batman to me. Of course, Dark Knight will always. I don't think Dark Knight can ever be topped, but to me, it was definitely second best Batman, and I cannot wait for the next one. I'll go see it again in the theater, and I rarely go to movies to see to the theaters to see a movie anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know any of the actors. I'm not very fluent with actors and actresses, but I thought everybody was really spot on. I didn't know. I knew the Kravitz girl just because her last name, but I think she might have been my favorite throughout the movie.
Yeah, BB66 dropped a $5 super chat. He said, music theme in the Batman was inspired by Darth Vader scene, plus the cinematographer worked on. Oh, yeah, we talked about that a while ago. The dirge sound, that dun, dun, dun. All the part they take out is the dun, 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 dun. They don't do that dun, dun, dun. You know what I mean? It's just the bass, the really slowed down bass line of that something is in the way that sounds just like the Darth Vader dirge. So,
yeah. And then,
I'm not going to call it a masterpiece as you are. I mean, I went in with low expectations, as many of us kind of did, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a little long, but more like, just you got to freaking pee in 3 hours. That's where I'm thinking is when do I got 3 minutes that I'm not going to miss anything.
Yeah,
you got to play that.
That is the number one advice to give anybody, even if you don't got to go first. Take a leak before you sit down.
I still did, but you still get 3 hours in and you're like, fuck.
I made sure I didn't.
It was like multiple. Basically, it felt like there were multiple endings.
Yes, like 3 times you thought it was over.
So my bladder was like, "Hey,
yeah,
we're almost there," and then we weren't. And I don't want to. I'm not trying to look at the clock either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't want to know for an hour and a half in or 2.5 in.
Justin Shannon says the reporter's last name was Elliot, but it wasn't Tommy. Well, if it isn't Tommy and they're not going to play it that way, I bet you Tommy is his son or something like that. You know what I mean? Tommy Elliott's already been the Elliot and the Hush thing have already been put together, so we know it's coming. Same with the end little riddle.
But it's nice they drop things like this. They mentioned Bloodhaven, so if you read Nightwing, you're able to start piecing together little things for the comic fans.
I liked. I thought it was a good Batman. I mean, that was where all hoping is. Jesus Christ, don't let him be a shitty Batman. I think part of it was how they played it. Very kind of young and loose, and the costume was interesting because he's carrying a freaking backpack most of the time.
Yes,
yeah. It's not like he's not showing up, out of nowhere. He's getting around like a human.
You can hear him walk in. That's the whole difference. Like in year 3 or 4 or year 5 or 6 or 7, you're not going to hear him walk in. They made a point in this movie multiple times that when he shows up, the guys know he's coming because they can hear his footsteps.
You're not
very Western style.
Not very.
When he's going towards the Penguin, it almost sounded like he had spurs when he was walking on the highway.
Yeah. Pretty sure they did make it sound like he
had
spurs on purpose.
He didn't spend.
Really took some Western cues, I think.
Yeah.
Hundreds of $1 million on his stuff. Like this was him figuring it out. Which I was talking to my son. I'm like, he wasn't a great Batman. He wasn't a great Bruce Wayne. He was a weird Bruce Wayne. And I'm like, I think it's because he hadn't figured out to be Bruce Wayne. He was basically acting as a kid with no family and not knowing what he wanted to do.
When he shot.
That is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. That is Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
He hadn't figured out how to portray
that Bruce Wayne
persona.
That was actually the good thing that he was so much more Batman in the movie than Bruce Wayne, because I did feel like the relationship between he and Alfred was a little odd. But I did like where I felt like the first time that Bruce Wayne had ever been wrong. Like I don't, it seems like every movie, everything, even the old TV show, every time they solve a riddle, it's right. And this time it seemed like he was a little more human. There were things that he wasn't right when he and Gordon were trying to figure it out, or when Alfred's trying to help him figure out the puzzle.
Well, this is also like, one of the few times the original Dark, was it
Nolan movie?
The original Nolan movie, there was a little bit where he was not Bruce Wayne. I mean, he was just the guy trying to become the Bat. And this, this was kind of that, just not, not done with as much fantasy. This was more like a kid just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, vengeance.
Nosh with the $5 super sticker. Much love, brother. We appreciate you. Good to see you.
Thanks, man.
And I think they could definitely, if they do another movie, it's going to time leap a bit, and you're going to see a little different portrayal of that Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Supposedly, BB66 is saying that Robert Pattinson might play the Crow. Have you been hearing that, Z?
No, I don't even want to comment on that.
I didn't even want to give this a chance when I first heard of it. Probably 2 years ago or whenever he was cast. I was like, dude, come on. And then it worked out just fine for me. You know what I mean? And and it is different. And it's like this. People are like kind of real with. I don't know. This felt more real. Like Penguin not being the cartoon. It's clearly because he's like they made him his nose looks like a penguin. So that's where they got. That's how they got this. You know, it's like of course it's not real, but it just felt like it was trying to bring the characters more real. The Riddler more real, not goofy at all. Like not much green. You know.
But I felt like Patterson had the right bone structure for Batman.
He's great, dude. As Batman,
I was hesitant, like everybody. You know, you're thinking Twilight guys coming into it, but I mean, as I watched the trailers, I haven't seen the movie yet. I've just seen the trailers. But God, I've kind of fallen in love with him in it, and especially when he's like just pummeling the shit out of that one guy in it, and he's like, "I'm vengeance." It's just sick. It's just cool. I want to see a ruthless Batman.
Yes,
and because like this old guy that they've been having play Ben Affleck, it's been a nightmare.
And also like he's so small, like you know what I mean, like he was shirtless in the scenes and stuff, and he's like a young thin man.
But they only show really
straight swole.
They only show. I actually commented too is they didn't show like a gratuitous ab scene, you know.
Well, it's better than Ben Affleck, who's probably 40 pounds overweight to be Batman.
No, I mean the only scene I remember is like they show his back as he's putting a shirt on, and you more notice the scars. I mean he's bulked up, but it kind of makes you think of McAvoy and when he does the early Split stuff. He's big, but he's not like crazy cut and lean, and it's intimidating.
It is the Genesis, correct? Like it's him just starting out as Batman, right?
Year 2.
So I mean, I thought it was realistic. It wasn't like trying to portray him as Superman. The cops don't trust him yet. The only one that trusts him at all is Gordon. And then that was really cool to see, like like you said, the genesis of him not having any of the cops trust. And then by the end of the movie, like, they're cool with him. They know what he's about. They still kind of are a little weird because he wears a fucking mask, but they know he's not a terrible dude. But that scene when he pops that, he's in that water and he pops that flare, like, and he's walking them, like, that was so awesome. The way they showed it from up high, and like the photo, the directing and the photography in this was so good, man. The scenes in the dark where I mean, we've all seen it, but when they're shooting and that's all you see is he's fighting, and you just see the bullet flash, the muzzle flash all the time. Like, what a great idea of a scene. There were so many great ideas on how to film a scene in this.
Hey, when they found the Riddler's apartment, kind of going back to 7, did you guys think, okay, there's a riddle, there's a clue somewhere, because they just haven't found it yet? That's what I was waiting for, just like 7.
Yeah, it was good. It was a mix between like when that lady, 7 and Saw it really felt like 7 Saw meets Batman, which is perfect. That's what we've always said. We wanted a gritty, scary kind of dark Batman, and that's what we got. Like, I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm tired of, I don't like the rain." That was one of the best parts. That was always raining. It rained
the whole movie.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's finally the DC problem is
perfect either.
Yes,
when they started getting through the
Arkham stuff,
all that stuff, I thought that was great because it finally puts a little bit of light where they're not the angels all the time. Like, maybe they're not who you think they are.
Well, and I don't know if it was really responsible for Batman to kill 25 people on the freeway. But...
that was a bit much.
I was like, dude,
a lot of people died.
Chill.
I couldn't believe how many people died in this.
Like
a lot of people
he's gonna
died.
go catch. You don't just let Penguin drive down the other side of the freeway. Like, you're just gonna like go kill families when your family just died. Like, there's no fucks given.
I heard, and I don't know how true this is, but I heard that they filmed that whole scene without any special effects. It was all done real. That whole
they killed that many people.
Yeah. He actually launching
the car through fire and the explosions and all that shit. That they actually filmed that, like, with pyrotechnics and everything.
Yeah, it wasn't all.
Yeah, it wasn't all CGI, which is awesome.
Well, I mean, the DC thing is like, I want a dark Batman. I just don't need every other movie dark. I don't need a dark Wonder Woman. I don't need a dark fucking Superman. I mean, that's kind of why Aquaman worked. Is it was a little goofy.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Suicide Squad was like, I mean, that movie was flawless.
Yeah,
and, like it was dark, but it was also funny, and it was
The second one?
clever. Yeah,
Yeah.
the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the second one. Of course, the second one.
I mean, when's the last time you thought you'd say DC's on a roll with Suicide
No,
Squad,
like Suicide
Peacemaker,
Squad,
Batman?
they
If
murdered
they can get Green
Suicide
Lantern
Squad.
right, I mean, they can. I mean, that's the key to me. Like, if you can get the Green Lantern series right.
I just
what
finished
they did with Suicide Squad was just so brilliant, and how they also had him fight the Starro at the end, the Justice League. That was brilliant to make them fight the first Justice League villain, but have the Suicide Squad do it, and it was just awesome, and the characters in it were sweet. And then the show that they just came out with John Cena was.
I mean,
I just finished that. Too silly. It was probably a little too silly, but still.
No,
what'd you think?
Just Gunn's ability to mix the music with the mood of songs you don't know you want to hear, and then you're
that's what James Gunn does better than
he picks some best. I remember watching that. I think it was like episode 3 or 4, and I was like, I guarantee they're gonna play Faster Pussycat.
Oh,
right. And I mean, it had to be a minute and a half later, and I hear House of Pain. I'm like, fantastic. All I need is Danger Rock America, and then
he's doing the new Guardians of the Galaxy too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. 3. Yeah. That's when they're going to introduce Fire Lord. Ooh.
And I think I'm putting Cena.
Fire Lord. Sorry, Human Warlock. Warlock. Him.
Yeah.
They're all
Cena with Gunn is just a match made in heaven. You know what I mean? It just Cena just did it. I can't even picture anybody else playing that character.
He was so much
or
better.
Being that ridiculous, you know.
I thought he'd be really cheesy, but
no, he was perfect.
He was perfect.
Yeah,
and he played that depressing card to that douchey card perfectly. The dichotomy of that was just, he did it brilliantly. To be this overarching douchebag and then also this sad guy at the same time trying to hide it. I mean, it was just. He killed it.
I think DC is doing a good job at not trying to create a universe too fast, right?
Yeah.
Just make good stories, and then we'll figure that out later.
Throw us some Easter eggs, and we're happy to go, Superman somewhere.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird also because they just don't have they don't have the second level of characters that were the second level of characters created like Marvel did with the in the 70s and stuff like that. They've just they're Superman. He can just do everything. Like, how interesting can that be? Batman sort of the same stuff. So they're doing the best with I think what they have, because their original superheroes or the DC superheroes are just outrageous. They're just good at everything. And then one thing I did like about Batman though is throughout time, he's the world's greatest detective. You know what I mean? And so the cops, can literally, he's got Gordon's trust, and, so Gordon will work with him and stuff like that. And he sees how fast he's figuring that stuff out. So, yeah.
That's an underrated part. Like, he was actually the best detective through the whole,
yeah. And that's what he is. And I think that, I feel like that was missing from a lot of movies.
I haven't seen it yet, but from you guys talking about it, I hope the next one isn't a prequel or anything back in time. I hope they keep moving forward with the story.
Yeah.
You said it's year 2. You said it's year 2.
It's 100% Long Halloween based. Shout out to Chris Colbert, who drops $9.90 super chat. He says, friends have asked what to read to understand Batman more, and it's been nice to recommend Legends of the Dark Knight, Year 1, Long. That's exactly what that's exactly what the books to have them read. Year 1, Long Halloween are perfect to have them read. But that's what they're doing, Paul. They're doing Long Halloween. It is 100% Long Halloween with a little bit of Year 1 kind of mixed in. You know what I mean? The crime part, right?
And the next movie.
The next movie's Long Halloween Part 2.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. Because remember how Long Halloween was like a 12-issue miniseries, and they had all the villains involved in the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're doing. You have multiple villains in each movie, and basically, the whole movie starts off on Halloween night, in Gotham City on year 2 of Batman. Excellent, man. Just the whole setup.
Yeah. Good. And it was visually, we're starting dark as a tone, but literally so visually dark, they'd hurt your eyes with some of the flashes because you're so dark, and then just the fire and scenes like that just come at you like visually in a dark theater that visually affects you. Maybe not so much in your living room or your house or something, but if you see this thing on a big ass screen, like it has a visual effect for sure.
And I will say one thing that really fucking helped was for me, the RSO and the recliners, man. Like if you can get yourself in some of those AMC recliners and take some gummies before you go in, man. Those things, dude, those things are so comfortable, dude. Like I usually like my back kind of hurts and I'm just like dude, I forgot I was like just melting in this recliner watching this great movie. It was an all around good experience.
Did you have a heater in your seat?
No, didn't need it, bro. We're in Arizona. What do you mean heater in our seat?
Like, did you say you had a kid dancing in front of you during like the whole movie?
Oh, wait, me?
Sean,
yeah.
Sean.
Oh God, it was horrible. I saw somebody decides to, and also if this is you, sorry, but screw you. Don't take a 5 and an 8-year-old to a movie like that's going to be 3 hours long on opening day. Like that's not cool, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sitting there. I knew it was going to be full. I wanted to go. If I didn't go Friday, I knew what was going on this weekend, and I wouldn't be able to go. And I'm like, I'm not going to want to get up Monday morning and go, but I definitely want to see it before we're on air today. Dude, the girl just keeps getting up, right? And they keep having to talk to her to tell her to sit down instead of like actually just throwing her back in the seat. And then this kid, this like 200-pound 8-year-old, decides to act out the end fight scenes and just stands up and keeps punching the air like this, and just in my peripheral, like 4 seats down. And I'm like really? Like this really is this real life? Is this happening, dude? You know, and see, I overcame this. I overcame having to pee, and still enjoyed it. So it's got to be a good movie, right? Because I had to deal with this. I'm like, but have your kids sit, but don't bring any kid to any, especially they're probably too young for this thing, and then for 3 damn hours that they're gonna have to sit there. You know what I mean?
Was that shitty kid.
2 weeks in at noon on a Tuesday. Bring the kids. All right.
Didn't you guys, or was it national news? People bringing their kids to Deadpool, and they're like, "What's wrong? This isn't a family movie."
Well, they remade it. They remade it to family stuff.
I remember a friend of mine said, he was like, "Mom," he's talking to his wife. He's like, "Mom, you gotta let me be a bad dad one day. You gotta let me take him to Deadpool. You got to." Kid's got like all toys, T-shirts. He's got everything. He's a Deadpool collector. It's like torture not letting the kids see it, but it is not for kids.
No, Deadpool's the worst. Like that's like I don't mind the violence and some of that, but Deadpool's like I don't know how to explain that to you, son.
Well, it's real gore. It is, and vulgarity and drugs and like, oh god, Deadpool is.
Is that how you proposed a mom, Dad?
Oh god, and it's a love story. It is. It's a love story. You gotta say it is a love story. Do you think that they'll do the Batman multiverse, bring in like the Batman who laughs and that kind of thing? Do you think they'll ever go that crazy?
Well,
animated.
Before this movie, they replayed that the teaser that they gave for all the DC movies, where it's Michael Keaton telling the Flash, why'd you pick to come to this timeline? So they're definitely doing, something similar. Chris Colbert drops another $5 super chat. He says, "Did you catch all the Venom serum?" Dude, yes, dude. When that's exactly what I said. When he did that, I was like, dude, that's fucking Venom right there. I went and fucking found my Venom books. I'm like, next sale, I'm busting out the Venom books. Here we go.
Wait, Venom and Batman? Wait, what?
You remember? So Venom is the
Bane serum.
The serum.
Okay. Okay.
And it started with a series in Legends of the Dark Knight. It was like a 3 or 4 issue thing where before Bane, where it's about Batman getting addicted to it, and he had to beat the addiction. It was a great little 3 issue story.
I've also heard rumors of Bane's daughter becoming a character in the up and coming DC universe.
Anything's possible, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think things like Batman Who Laughs and things, they'd have to kind of kick it through some animation first.
Yeah,
I think it's such a
strange
take for them to throw right at you.
And I mean, I watch all of the animated movies that DC comes out with. I mean, they're
for
all
a while. That's the best stuff they've been putting out.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I watch every one of those. And,
I thought Injustice was a tad short for my likings with all the source material.
It's still my all-time favorite. I mean, they've never done anything better than Flashpoint.
Oh God, yeah.
That one was out of this world. But I mean, still, I mean, even the new ones are good, and they portray Batman well. You know, but still, Flashpoint by far the best.
Well, let's just hope they don't ruin it with the new Flash movie they got coming out. Because
that one, is it Ezra Miller? I have a hard time figuring
multiple Ezra Millers
carry the movie. That one makes me nervous.
Well, I mean, for Batman, I'm thinking there's a good chance they go Court of Owls or some sort of blend, because it's clearly a blend here. And I mean, that Snyder run was so great, and also obviously it helped having Capullo draw it. So I mean, that's probably my favorite.
They're gonna hybrid
run,
this stuff.
To be honest with you,
New
52, it went nuts, dude. New 52
they dive
went
more
nuts.
into Thomas and Martha in the next movie, and it goes back into like the wealthiest people in Gotham and Court of Owls. It makes sense.
There's some really, really great Batman work in this upcoming Heritage auction. It is like stunning pieces, mostly modern, and they're just, I think, all modern, but like they are fantastic. Really,
some of the moderns, the better stuff. Sadly,
yeah. I'm happy they're not doing it all digital anymore too, so you can actually own it, and it's sick. It's sick.
All right, let's rock some market report here real quick.
We did DC for once, guys.
Yeah, hell yeah, DC baby.
Let's I gotta wait till Black Adam for the next one.
Yeah.
What's up, Mikey?
Batman collectibles real quick.
Oh yes, you can for sure.
Well, since you brought it up, I will say on the original art, people are like blue line snobs with inks, and I'm like, that's all you can get on some of this. I take it, it's cheap. It's kind of like the animation art. People aren't spending on it.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. Blue lines or just pencils. Like, I mean, and fuck, if like a mono print, if it's the only thing, I mean, NFTs are a thing. So,
well, I mean, if the original artist did it digital, then what are you going to do? If the penciler did it digital and the inker did it pen, that's what it is.
Exactly. That's all you got. I'm not saying spend the same type of money on it, but I mean, if the first appearance of a major character, like, you know, the best thing you can do is get a mono print. Might as well buy the mono print of her.
I got an Injustice inked thing for $100 from
I wish I
Injustice
had
1
it here, but I've got this beautiful Batman Who Laughs splash. It's got all of the evil Jokers on it. It's super sweet. It's a double splash. It's fucking I don't know too much original art, but yeah, that one I absolutely love. But anyways, all right. So I'll start with, because my theme's been animation cells.
Oh wow!
So
That's
this is
a
an
good
awesome one from the animated
That's
series.
huge too.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Looks great in a frame.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it on the camera right.
Just like tip it back a little bit, and it'll be. There you go.
Yeah. This is a cool one. I recently got one. I just don't have it here, but it's a Catwoman right in front of the Batmobile, and that's like a super rare piece to have. And then also to get like Harley Quinn, for instance, from the Batman original series. She showed up in the TV show before she showed up in the comic book. So to get a Harley Quinn frame from before the comic book came out, people aren't looking for that kind of stuff. And like that is hugely undervalued. Like, so you can get like, penciled drawings of her for $1,000, $2,000, something like that from her first episode, which predates, Batman Adventures 12. So like, I mean, that's kind of dope.
And that Batman series is one of those things that is like, it's how most of us experienced it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can get
great
true
art
first appearances if you do buy animation art from those series. So like from the Batman series, buy those. Then what I got here, probably the most popular Batman movie.
Wow.
So these are like kind of the more valuable variants of it. You got the number one, you got the beta tape, which is they kind of stopped doing beta around 1986. So this is a 1990 beta. So these are really, really scarce. And it's like, it's cute little
Yeah.
movie. So super scarce. Because really this movie's not that expensive. Like anyone can buy these for somewhere between $75 and $150.
I was looking at that one and I'm like, well, it feels really cheap.
Yeah, well, it's because there's so many printed. So like, but I would pay, like if I got one, like if I saw an IGS 1010 or a VGA 9095 or something like that, I'd pay $1,000 or $2,000 for that. Why not? Like for a perfect example of that, just like people are doing with modern comic books and modern video games. Like that stuff in perfect condition is still gonna sell really, really well.
The best is still
popular they are. But for this one, for instance, this is the Coca-Cola promo copy. So this one, this is how you add scarcity to a tape that is so mass produced. So this one was only given to video stores, and you just couldn't get it any other way. It wasn't intended really for commercial release. So this one sells for, I don't know, $500, $1,000, and I think that's a deal. And then right now there's one of these on eBay, and this has the early watermarks on it. So this is the first release copy of it. And in theory, Batman should never have had wraparound Warner Brother watermarks. They stopped doing these in 1988. This movie came out in 89. I think the VHS came out in 90. Maybe it came out at the tail end of 89. But it should have never had these watermarks. Yet there's quite a few out there that do. And there's one currently in auction. It might have just ended, or it's about to end, and it was already at $600 and something.
Wow.
So this is the grail, I would say, for Batman 89, is to find one with those watermarks.
I think I saw that when I was looking at it. I didn't understand enough to know why that one was special.
Yeah, it's because it's really, really, I've only seen probably 5 or 6 like that, and I look every day. Like, so if I've only seen 5 or 6 of something, that's like nothing. And then the next thing I bought, it's not Batman, but like I said earlier, there's 3 things that I think people should be investing in. And I said it was animation art, VHS tapes, and the other one's Pulps. So we got Weird Tales.
That's the king.
We got Weird Tales, and it's the Batgirl basically. I mean, a lot of people think Batman's kind of like based off of this girl's look. I mean, it's hard to say he's not. It's really cool, really, really cool. One of the most sought after pulps out there. I mean, just the cover is beautiful. Yeah, and they're apparently they're gonna eventually grade these soon. So that's why I think these are a huge investment. Pulps have some of the coolest covers out there because they really only really had the cover photos. So they had really great artists painting them, and then the interiors were all stories. So once these things start getting graded and people actually understand them a little better, they're going to be widely collected because of just how cool they are. I mean, they already are. It's just they're kind of lost.
People don't understand them.
Exactly. And some of the best heroes came from pulps. You've got Conan the Barbarian, like he came from pulps. You've got Tarzan, came from pulps. The Shadow, Doc Savage, Buck Rogers, Cthulhu came out in pulps. Like, it's really cool to see all these characters. The Red Hood from that becomes Joker. There is a comic book there is a pulp that is extremely scarce that has the Red Hood Joker on it before Joker even existed. So that was totally based off of that. So to see where pulps ended up affecting comic books, and then which later then affected pop culture, it's really, really neat. And some of them are just so damn scarce, and
most of them are beat to shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're so hard to find and grade. I mean, to find any of them that are still looking nice, it's tough because they're really old. Like I'm pretty sure this is in the 20s.
Yeah, most of it's 20s, 30s. You get some in the 40s and 50s, but man,
this one's 1933. Conan, I think was 20s, but
that's incredible for 33.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of the great pulps and the great covers, they came out even before the golden age of comics.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
before even comics. I mean, his first comic books, 36 or 35 or something like that. And those are all just funnies. Really, comic book covers didn't get really that cool till really wartime, a little bit before that, when Lou Fine kind of started hitting the scene and making some pretty dope stuff. But really once we entered World War, or once World War II was starting to pump, that's when comics got really dope. That's when covers got graphic and, you know, propagandy. Though of course there was some really great ones before that, but that's when they really started getting dope.
Okay. Love it. All right, let's
thank you for sharing those. That's
thank
some cool
you, Mikey.
stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the market report tonight. You ready, Z?
Yes.
All right, let me fix something here.
I'm gonna try and move fairly brisk for us.
Go for it, brother.
This one I love. It's one that doesn't get talked about much. Special Edition Comics 1. It's Captain Marvel's first solo book. It was before Captain Marvel Adventures #1, but after, you know, the Wiz stuff. It's got the great writing, the missile cover, you know, kind of Doctor Strangelove style. It's pretty freaking scarce. I got a little less lazy. Normally I check the census on a few of these. There's only 70. Shit, got my notes mixed up. 73 total on the census. There is a freaking 9.8 somehow. Probably the Promise collection. I didn't check that.
That would make sense.
I mean, it's either the Promise or the Mile High. It just is. But holy crap. But you just don't see many of these, and most of them are deep. This was actually a really good price for how it presents.
Yeah, I agree.
So somebody got a nice deal. People usually chase the other ones more, but this is a cool book. So there's that. This was one I'd never seen before. This come up. It's one of those romances that you don't know that is great, and then you see it and you're like, oh, I get it. And
the hair looks great.
That's a Fox book, right? So
yes.
Those Fox publications are impossible to get, and that's one I've never seen before. I mean, most
one
of
on the census.
That sold for really decent money, I'd say, for being in the. I mean, it looks like it's in better condition than they're saying it is. They're saying it's in good condition, but it looks way nicer than that. But still, I mean, that's a cool thing to show up and to see that still selling.
One on the census at a 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are as rare as they get. Those are cool.
Romance guys, sometimes you just gotta look at it, even though you don't think you're interested. There's some cool stuff floating around in the right spots.
Absolutely.
This is a cover I just always like, but apparently goes for no money. This is kind of right on par for where it's been selling.
Well, it's Green Hornet. Green Hornet doesn't get quite the love it deserves.
But it's got the awesome double skull color.
Oh, absolutely.
Skeletor prototype a little early.
Yeah, see?
40 years early.
It's one of those things that in my head should sell for a little more than it does. And I don't understand.
Yeah, it's $240. I mean, for skulls. Yeah.
So decent shape.
So buy them.
Yeah.
I love
this was a cheap one. I mean, low grade beat copy, but still $300 for one of the kind of the classic covers with the anthills.
And it presents nice for a 1.0.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of edge issues. Decent color. Dino's kicking himself. He left, but he was kicking himself for not buying it.
Well, it's a great starter copy, getting anybody into it. That's
this
so
one.
High.
Beauty.
I love that book, but damn, $2,000 for that. I mean, it looks beautiful for a 2.5, but damn.
Yeah, I think it's the colors and it pops really nice.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's an absolutely fantastic book.
I missed one of these last week, and I freaking forgot to look again, so I missed another.
Oh my god!
I just hadn't put it back on my search filters. Now, this is a nice one, a 5.0. I looked about right. I know the last 5.0 sale was about $900 because I sold it. So, so there's that. one of the classic Mary Marvels. Just highlighted this because Green Lantern appears.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, be jumping. I was gonna say it's been floating around 1,000 a point. This was a pretty high sale. Now,
yeah, it's huge.
I don't think you're gonna get that all the way up, but I think this is a case of a decent looking number one.
Well, it shows a lot for DC finally pumping, because I mean these are so much more scarce than the Marvel ones are. I mean,
For sure.
They're really tough to get.
This was a 500 a point book forever.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I feel like I missed my window to get this a little bit.
No.
I mean, I still want it, but I definitely missed
probably
the
just
best time to get it.
I sold my last one with the intentions of upgrading. We'll see if I get around to it before it gets.
What grade did you have before?
I've had a cover. I have one missing a back cover I sold, and then I had a 4.0.
Nice. Wow.
And I was like, I'm gonna just get a little nicer, and of course, then that's how that game goes.
Yeah.
And of all the Silver Age number ones, I mean, I know this is first appearance, but we're talking number ones. Green Lantern 1 has the worst cover of all of them.
Oh yeah, oh terrible.
It's so bad, dude. Like I've seen good deal on it, but I don't want that in my house.
Yeah, it's not one you post
with the cloud.
Oh, the clown's so bad.
Cloud.
I posted the Mexican version the other day on Instagram just because it's so bad.
Cooler?
No, it's the same cover. It's just so amusing.
Because some of those foreign ones, those have been really exploding recently.
Yes.
And they have some really neat cover art, like slightly different colors or completely different. That's really good money.
Mexico doesn't tend to change it much. They're close to original, but you get like Australia and the European countries, they tweak the colors a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Central America, all that stuff.
This was one that just more purely you're paying for SIGs. I mean, you're paying for a Stan and a Herbie, and I was like, okay, I guess that's the buy-in.
Well, cool.
The book is,
not expensive.
Right. So basically, it looks like if you want a Stan Kirby book, add $1,000 to it.
Well, I've got an FF1 Stan and Kirby signed. Hit me up.
Shit.
It's a 1.0. It's a 1.0. It looks nice. Signed on the interior. Mikey Comics. Hit me up.
Holy crap, man! That's a nice one. Probably add a little more for that one. This was the scummy sale of the day.
Oh, so somebody got screwed.
That's Lionsgate.
I know. Yeah. Somebody was scummy on this one. So.
And they even kept the fucking dollar price tag on there.
I know. That was. I don't usually highlight it, but I just stuck me as super bad.
Well, hopefully whoever bought it canceled.
Yes, let's hope. This was just tied in. I'm like, I showed a 9.8 the other day that was approaching 1,000, but I'm like, a 9.2. It's not an uncommon grade. It feels real high for that one.
Dude, this book is tough. That red wore off. Plus, it's the reprint, so I don't think people kind of probably took as good a care of thinking that they're going to be worth anything.
I know.
That red is tough, dude. That red wears off. I've had a bunch of these, and I don't think I've even sniffed a very fine.
People are paying $255 for a 9.2 of the reprint. And they think the foreign copy should cost that much too. I'm like, go find how many of those there are anywhere near that grade. Things like this honk me off a bit when that's the price on that. You talk a 9.8, sure, 9.8's 9.8, but a 9.2, come on. So, this was a book I'm fucking sad I missed. A 9.9 red label.
All right, I saw that earlier. That case is busted, and you don't, and they say they'll regrade it, so you're stuck with that case forever.
I would keep.
And I'd be fine with that.
I'd keep the red label case like that. I don't care.
100%.
What is what's the value of that in 9.8?
It used to be 300. I just bought one for, I want to say like 120, but I think the actual closer to around 200. And I think that's a good buy at 200.
I have a theory that the red labels are just, that's a thing. People are going to want them as
dude, that's low,
less of
dude.
them around every time.
I love the red labels. They're sweet.
And
CBCS or CCC 9.9 in this book. This is a great book.
Yeah.
This.
Well, and so I put this one in for comparison. Brand new 9.9.
Whoa.
$850. Somebody went on that one.
Is that square bound?
I don't know.
I don't either. Dennis,
I don't think so.
It look well from this picture. It looks like it, but those DC cardstocks, man. They
well, but I'm like I said, if somebody paid triple that for that, I would take the Harley all day long.
Yeah, dude, that's ridiculous to even compare those two books, especially for like comic historic value.
What year is that book?
This year.
This year.
Brand new, dude.
Yeah, like a couple months. Maybe it's December. I don't know, but recent. So this one was. I picked this out because I followed it up with the newsstand. Went for about 150 more. So 250 for the standard, 400 for the newsstand. Honestly, that might be a deal on the McFarlane newsstands.
I would agree.
I would take that.
That's brother
hard newsstand book
had the Hulk, the purple covered Hulk McFarlane, and he got over $1,000 for it, and that was a lower sale than the one before. Like these newsstands and these McFarlane covers are probably a good way to grab some if you see them.
And honestly, I just think all the McFarlane in that 300 plus era right there, any of those 9.8s, a lot of them are a lot lower than you'd think they'd be. Yes. And I don't see how they'd be bad purchases.
No,
somebody
got a deal on that one. I think
everybody loves it. That run, it's iconic.
Yeah, you had the Gray Hulk in there. That's another kind of niche on top of McFarlane. It's kind of like Black Spidey for the Hulk. So, this is a book that fucking got out of hand.
Whoa.
This was a $100 9.8 forever, and I remember it jumped to 3, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't want it at 3. And now,
doesn't Dino have one, or did he sell it?
Maybe.
I know somebody who's got like 100 of those.
Yeah, right. They're not uncommon, but it is probably a bitch in 9.8. But still, it's a great cover. But it just got out of hand in my head.
Yeah.
Long Halloween, about $300. Again, not an uncommon book, but it's where it's rolling right now. I don't know if it'll stick.
And they made the movie. They made the movie, an animated movie about it, right?
Well, the movie is about Long Halloween, the new one.
Yeah. Well, the new movie's based on it, but they did have a Long Halloween.
Yeah, the animated, right? 2 parts.
Yeah, animated.
Also noticed the background on this one. This guy made the list 3 times, but I don't think I'd seen a Crow one from this run sell in 9.8 in forever, but it used to be cheap, and now it's picking up some steam as everything else has went through the roof. So maybe keep an eye on these guys. They're usually beat to shit and well read, but find a nice one, it might be worth it.
Also been seeing, but to me look like probably are good deals on the second print of this run.
I hadn't thought about it. New Avengers, more just doing a price check-in. So low end of 400. I did check the census on this guy too, just to see where it stood. 715 graded, 422 9.8s, 1 newsstand 9.8. The newsstand looks like it sold for 1,600. The 9.8s have been trending in that 450 to 500. So this trending a bit down. So maybe we've lost the hype machine for a while and kind of keep an eye on it. Might be a time to jump back in a few months. Every Ghost Rider is apparently hot. Another one pushing 300 for.
That's cheap as shit. It was like $600 book. That's half price.
Very low. That was the price for a Raw just a few years ago.
I think Richie just picked one of these up, right? A Raw one.
I don't know. And Neil Adams is the other one from this run, and I swear this is damn near as rare as that Neil Adams.
Yeah, is it? I don't know. I didn't think this one was that expensive.
Yeah, the Lozy, and it's been pretty expensive. Yeah, this was like the raw price.
All right. Well, learned something today. Also, nice background to Spider-Man there.
That's a wraparound, but yeah.
Happened to catch a one of these raw. Nice sale.
So did you see 9.4?
Hey, he just...
Is it a pre-sale or something? $16 shipping.
I didn't actually pay attention to CGC. I saw the 9.4 and I looked at it. Looked, I'd buy it to 9.4.
Yeah.
I totally missed the CGC on it. I guess that's what happens when you look too many listings. This was one that felt like a good deal. People love this Air Pirates fucking book.
I love it.
A 9.4's decent grade on it. I felt like a good buy for somebody with the lovely pirated Disney image. So
I love that book so much. It's so funny.
The Deviants Among Us love it, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that book's great, especially if you can get a 9.8 copy of it. I mean, there's not many of them on the census to begin with, and then like, I mean, it's just so funny. So funny.
It's like just a piece of Americana stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a nice looking copy. Again, I don't know if it's a 9.4, but it looked close enough that I could see it falling in that ballpark. Get a press on it. It's definitely in that range.
He gets been on a black cover. I mean, I don't know. That's scary.
Yeah. It's a ballsy play.
It's a ballsy play. But I mean, if it does 9.4, the guy's going to make money.
Yes. I think somebody took the gamble. I didn't look at it with Sean's eyes, but it looked enough that I'm like, it's at least in the 9s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. It's going to be a crapshoot anyway.
True. That's not too bad.
No, it's down from its highs, but it's starting to kind of creep back up. You know, it got ridiculous. To 5,000. You know, so it's starting to move the right ridiculous.
Way. And that's not that pretty of a copy either. That doesn't have deep reds or anything. That's
it looks like light.
So, I mean, it looks like it has a nice registry, but I don't like the color on it. So to see that it's sold for that makes me happy.
I don't like the Spider-Man labels either, but that's just me.
Don't tell Scotty about that one.
Just happened to catch this one with the X-Men label. You know, cooled down a bit. We'll see where it goes.
What did that one peak up at? 2,000?
I was in the 2s, I think, a while back, because she was supposed to be in what movie were they saying she was showing up in, and she never did?
Captain Marvel, WandaVision, Miss Marvels 2.
I don't know. Like she was supposed to show and she didn't. I don't know.
She's perfect for Marvels or whatever. Miss Marvel 2. She's perfect.
Yeah, but it's definitely taken a step back because at one point it got to a number where I'm like, well, that's unruly.
Well, she might have been in there. We just didn't know.
And this was my last one I had picked up, which was, we've officially hit everything from the 80s is $300. The A-Team is now $300 book. So
the fuck out of here.
Cool.
Dude,
It's still awesome, dude.
I'd get like some A-Team sealed toys or something like that.
Yeah, I found one of these at a show this fall here and picked it up for $1.
Yeah, so
it wasn't as nice.
I had a bunch of the 3-packs at one point, but I sold those all off. So that's what I got. I think Brian's got a little bit.
Yeah, check this out. We were talking about this last week. This is the box of the Hasbro Sky Patrol Night Raven jet sold for like this price, and here's the plane. So if you want to get a one that is with the box and the vehicle, imagine probably paying around $600.
Look at the shipping on this guy too.
Oh yeah, so beautiful though. That
it's a beautiful plane. Yeah.
You already showed that one.
Yeah, I pulled it out of order. Sorry.
Let's see here. This is interesting. Star Wars Comics Pack. This is the open season number 2, Montrose and Jaster Memorial. $570 on 19 bids for this. Wow. Yeah.
Dude, I just got the Thrawn pack for $100 like 3 weeks ago.
It's crazy, dude.
Wow.
Nuts. Here's another great buy. Another Malik and Revan, both of them for less than $200. I think that's a great buy.
Look how clean they look on their hangers, because usually that's where they're beat up a little bit, and the color on them is really good. Because I've got like one Revan and the color is dull. It's a kind of dirty, but I mean, I don't know about the yellowing or on the plastic, but I mean, those look pretty nice.
So I don't follow toys too much, but they've been picking up in price, haven't they?
It's crazy, man. Absolutely bonkers.
Star Wars.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Heritage is trying to make bigger plays in toys. They've been talking about that. So, I mean,
Star Wars stuff is going crazy, especially like stuff like this. This is from the vintage collection, the recent vintage collection. Leia in slave outfit sold for over $475 on 27 bids. Just raw. I mean, it's mint on card, but it's not graded or anything.
Like I would think that's a $300 figure on card, but I mean, maybe because it's unpunched. Like
then it would be my dumbass bidding.
$50 shipping
it would be
too.
worth like twice that.
I have one Star Wars 12 back. It's a Sand Person, 85 plus, no sticker, A.
Is it A? Does it have a skew on the where they're standing?
I don't know.
If it does,
I don't know.
It's worth about 4 times what you think it is.
I don't know. I'm asking what it's worth. I don't know what it's worth. I spent,
an 85A.
I spent like $1,800 on it.
2,500.
Like 3 or 4 years ago.
Is it 85 or 85 plus?
85 plus.
A lot.
2,500, you think?
More than that, probably 85 plus. And check it. Is it hollow cheeks?
No punch, no sticker.
Is it hollow cheeks?
I don't know what that means.
That's why I love having Nate on, man.
If hold on one sec. You guys go ahead.
All right.
I wish I had it with me right now to show you. I wish I had it. Here's
another Star Wars one. This is Jaina and Jason's solo set. These were, I think, mail away or special, some type of special. I can't remember. I know they're special, but tough to get. And I think this was a good buy. I think these are going to be, at one point, these were almost selling $175 a piece about a year ago, 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, super rare.
And were these sold at like conventions, or were these sold just like at Target and Walmart?
Like Entertainment Earth, I think, for those ones.
Wow.
So I know it's probably not going to come through clear, but the 2 little silver pieces on his face, if they're indented, it's hollow. If they're rounded, they're not. The hollow cheeks are more rare.
There we go.
Got it. Noted.
Cool.
All right. Where was I?
What's the price difference? Is it can't be like it's like the vinyl Jawa kind of difference, is it?
It could be.
No, it's not that rich. Yeah.
How about, is it like what double the price or something like that?
It's not double, but it maybe there's a third premium, but there's definitely a premium.
I gotcha.
And especially on yours, if it's that 12 back, if it's an A, if it has a skew that's printed below the feet on there, it's even more so. I mean, that's
what's the difference between like an A and a B usually in price?
Usually they're the A's are more. It just it depends on the figures as well, because if you're A and you're talking about like the double telescoping with like Luke or Obi-Wan or Darth, even more so. But you can get a if you're talking like a 85
so sometimes
plus
later ones are more
R2D2. You could be
big time.
Brand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. See, I've always just been like, oh, A is the first, so that's what I'm going after. So that's what I got.
Yeah, well, I went with C's because that's what I made in school. So
this is the Star Killer figure, much beloved video game figure. They did a vintage collection figure on him, $182 on 6 bids, which is awesome for that figure. This is prototypes. I've talked to you guys about prototypes, and they have all different types of prototypes. This is a prototype mock-up that they did with the Snowtrooper, and as you can see, they used a Han Solo and Carbonite card for him. This sold for almost $1,000 on 30 bids, not even graded. Absolutely crazy to me. But because there's a ton of prototypes out there, but this could be a rare one. You never know. All right. One of the coolest figures of all time is the 1992 Fun School superhero figure, which was an India G.I. Joe figure that they made to look like Superman, right? They put a cape on him, and I forget which figure they used for Superman, but you can look it up. This sold $1,300 on 44 bids, not graded, but in really nice condition. So very, very, very rare. Ewoks. Weren't you talking about this the other week, Carter? This Ewoks book?
No. You would never catch me talking about Ewoks.
All right. Somebody was talking about an Ewoks book about last week, and here's a 9.8 star book that sold for $300.
Wow.
Could have been me. I sold I'm trying to bring it up real quick. It was the last thing I sold. I sold an Ewoks 10 newsstand raw for $250.
Wow.
Is that the one that has is 10 the one that has all the like the
It's got the marble border, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get.
Yeah, and I mean, Raw is probably 9.0, but for that, like a newsstand Raw and Ewok 10 for fucking 9.0 is actually a pretty good grade. Yeah. So yeah, I've had it up for 300 forever. Somebody offered 250, and I was like, that sounds fucking fair.
Well, what would an Ewoks 1 newsstand be?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
probably double that, or 5. If that's 300, then probably closer to 5. I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure they eat. Not only do the newsstands, it's all tougher, blah blah blah. But the newsstands in the kids' comics, come on.
Yeah.
Way
you know what
tougher,
I mean? Like,
tougher.
dude, the collectors weren't buying Ewoks once, or maybe they did because it was Star Wars or something. I don't know.
I recently had a newsstand that I put in the Heritage auction. It was the it's much more sought after book than Ewoks. Daredevil 168. And I actually had offered it to one of my friends who was a newsstand collector for like $6,500. They usually sold for like $4,500, and he turned me down. And then it sold in Heritage for like $13,600 or something like that.
Wow, holy shit!
So newsstand collectors are going absolutely bonkers at the moment, and just fucking fighting. I couldn't believe it.
Just so funny because nobody wanted that stupid barcode. We all wanted Spidey's head.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why would you want an ugly barcode?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of hype around Elektra, but still.
How about this one? Cool. Mask. You were talking about Mask the other day, Nate. How about this one? This is the Firecracker, sealed, $2,045 on 34 bids. Absolutely.
So how much does a sealed Thunderhawk go for? Then?
Great question. I didn't see there was a lot of sealed mask stuff that sold this week. I didn't see the Thunderhawk though.
Woo. Yeah. I love that.
Here we go. There's another one you were just talking about. This is I've been looking at this since you've been talking about it. The only Zartan other than the India one, which is terrible. It's not the real Zartan. It's a lesser plastic, but this is the real Zartan that you would get. This is the Japanese version. Mm-hmm. Doesn't come with the chameleon, but it comes with the coolest part, which is Zartan with the mask and the gun. So the only Zartan carded figure that I believe came with the real nice plastic Zartan. $411 on 33 bids for just a sealed figure. How much did you pay for yours, Carter?
Exactly that amount.
$400. Not bad. Yeah. Not bad.
I remember as a kid, that was the one thing when you had all the new figures, or they had all the guys on the back of the card. Zartan was on there, even though he came in a set with the chameleon. I always wanted him because I always wanted one of the card backs like everybody else.
Yep,
just like they showed on the figures.
Yeah, dude, it's a really cool for anybody that is a huge Zartan fan. Like, this is something to get. Next. Keep on talking about it. Keeps on going up.
Dope.
Yeah. $531 for a sealed. I have so many people reaching out to me, and I'm glad you guys do, asking me, hey, should I keep this sealed or should I open it up? And I always give them the advice, keep it sealed. And here's a perfect example. The sealed ones are starting to sell for big money.
It's always confused me why people didn't buy those more.
Yes.
And people, because the comic book sells for so much.
A lot of people don't realize this was a KB exclusive. They only sold this in KB Toys. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep. Only sold it in KB Toys.
Yeah, those always shocked me when I saw them priced, and I thought I just didn't know something about it. Like maybe it was a reprint or something inside of there, and that's why. That's why I stayed away from the toy. I didn't. So now that kind of confirms it to me that that's the actual comic book. That's really cool.
Yep. Next, an Empire Strikes Back toy display. This is the Kennard store display. Almost $3,500 on 45 bids, and it lights up, which is even cooler. That's, to me, if it has electronics involved in the store display, big money. Here we go. This blew me away. I could not believe that these sell for this much. These figures were really cool, even when when I was younger and I saw them. And they were GI Joe based. If you look at Scorpion, he comes with the Desert Scorpion. They're basically GI Joe figures, but I can't believe that the Sub-Zero sold for $305 and the Scorpion sold for $200. So cool. Be on the lookout. Continue to look for these figures right here.
They look in really nice shape. I mean, the bubbles, they don't look like they're yellow or anything.
Yeah. Shout out to AOA for the $2 super chat. He says Carter secretly owns a plush Ewok collection. All right. Here's another prototype. Look at this. This is the 2004 E3 exclusive Bungie Joyride Halo 2 Master Chief. So basically, back when Bungie was making the game, they did Joyride Studios did figures, and this is the Master Chief prototype, sold for $537 on 19 bids.
I feel like I should have bought that.
Are you a Halo fan?
Hey, Nate, help me out with the action figures.
I wish I knew more about this one, but like, just looking at it, I'd love to have this.
It's cool, man. I'm telling you, the action figure stuff is awesome.
Out there that you don't want, let me know about it. I would love to get more into action figures. I think
you're on, bro. You're on. You're on.
Send me more about them
for sure. Here we go. This I felt like was such a good buy. I can't believe this. I'm so mad I didn't see this. 5 Jordan starting lineups sealed. It has 3 of the 88s, all right, and 2 of the 91s. It looks like, or 90s. $224. That is so cheap considering that if you open those 88s and just grade the cards and they come back in 8 or more, it's gonna be 3 times that. So, man. It's great to see starting lineups sell for more, but it's bummer when I miss out on something like this.
Keep that up. I'm taking a photo of it. Keep track of that stuff.
This is hey, look at this one. This is 3 of the Kobe's. Yeah, this is the Kobe's, the 96.
Same thing.
A lot of people don't realize that these come with a Fleer metal rookie that was made specifically for starting lineup. And I think that's a great thing to pick up if you guys see it for a decent price. So next, all right. We always talk about the Readful Things figures, one of ones, and some new ones came out that I saw. This was so cool to me. Like, this is one of the coolest things. If they made more of these, I'd be all over these. Silence of the Lambs, Death Head Moth from Readful Things, and it's almost sold for $2,000 on.
Is it one of one?
What year is that?
This just came out recently, I think.
It's custom.
They're custom, yeah. Readful Things is a custom action figure maker that he's made probably 1,000 different types, and he sells them all, and very cool. Very cool.
Take a photo of him too.
They did a Bruce Campbell one too that recently sold. That was awesome. All right. Here is, okay, we talk about the blacklight posters a lot. This is pretty cool. This is an MC Escher blacklight poster from 1969, which is awesome. I love how it's got the kind of like old school space color planets behind it.
Deal.
Yeah, that's what I think. I feel like this was a great buy. Looks in great condition from 1969, original blacklight poster for $222. Start looking for them, you guys. You can get them for cheap. Here's a great,
cool.
Yeah, this is the Tool poster from 2002 from Anima. The you guys know the album, the probably Tool's best album, and this is the Ocular Orifice image by Cam DeLeon, and it's a signed print of it for $315, which I think is another great deal. How beautiful would that look framed? So. Tool stuff. If you look at music memorabilia on eBay, 90% of it's Tool stuff. Like, there's so many amazing cool Tool posters and prints. Audi Granoff does a ton of them. There's a lot of comic artists that do them too.
Yeah, and if you go to comic book events, you can get to see them. If you go to Comic Cons and all that, because they're comic collectors.
Yeah,
they're comic collectors. I see them all the time.
That's awesome. That's cool. I know Adam Jones. Well, Adam Jones is a huge collector. Yeah.
But yeah, go to most comic shows. They go to the real comic shows, not like, I mean, I'm sure they go to San Diego, but they go to like
Long Beach,
to actually buy real books,
Yeah.
Who's coming to Anaheim? Let's do this.
Yeah, right.
Brian, get in the car, dude.
I'm down. All right, so this is going to get weird here for a second. Let me find this. Hold on. Before we do this, let me do this because I'm not in order. So let me put this in order. All right. So I found this. I thought this was a really cool poster, music memorabilia poster. Soundgarden Godzilla poster. How cool would this look on your wall framed? Godzilla, the fire's coming out. It says Soundgarden in the fire. Really, really cool poster. Sold for $385 on 2 bids. All right, now we're gonna kind of get weird. We've got this crazy Batman Fillmore original handbill flyer. Bill Graham, Big Brother, BGP. I don't know what this is, but it is freaking cool.
Cool.
And it sold for $300 on 20 bids. So, all right, here's another one. All right, this is crazy. So we were on Drunken Chat the other night, and some dude came in the chat saying he was actually Peter North. And he said, I found your guys' stuff. I like it. It was probably a joke, but it was fun to reminisce about old school porn stars. And yesterday, I found this.
You mean Matt Ramsey?
Yeah. What?
Dude, I'm not. I'll tell you after. I'm not getting into this.
Okay. All right.
Peter North's not his real name.
Oh yeah. Obviously. Tracy Lord's 1984 ad and a mini poster. Absolutely crazy. History upon history right here. And the type of history I love. $275 on 12 bids for Tracy Lord's 1984 advertisements.
She didn't make legal porn.
Yeah.
I think one.
Yep. All right. So getting weird. I was going through the Jesse James collections, and there's a ton of old matchbooks in there. So I started thinking, wouldn't it be cool to have old school zigzag papers? And then it reminded me that the guy who owns Raw Rolling Papers, Josh, I forget his last name, Josh Kellerman. He is a collector of rolling papers around the world all through history. So he's got this huge collection of rolling papers. And I thought it would be cool to look at like old school zigzags. These are zigzags from the 40s. It's a case of 24 of them, sold for $86. I thought that was pretty cool. But then you've got a vintage one from the 40s, paper tubes that sold by itself for $58. This is from the 1915, 1920, 84, and check this one out. 1896 zigzags.
What?
Yes.
It's probably goodbye, dude.
How cool is that, man?
That's
cool.
That's
I
really
just
cool.
1896. That's incredible.
Yeah. It was. I just things like that I love. You can't get better than that.
Not that old.
Yeah, old,
that cheap.
And you could think like they were using them back then, so that's kind of cool. All right, let's get into some real quick. Hold on here. All right. These are some things I saw that it was interested me that I wanted to show the whole thing. I didn't know about this. This is a G.I. Joe Thunderwing. It's an F-22 G.I. Joe vehicle. And I live right next to Luke Air Force Base. And whenever you can, and Luke Air Force Base is an F-16 base, but now it's an F-35 base, and they had some F-22s. And whenever you hear the F-22s, the F-35s, it's fucking crazy. And they're really cool to look at. And I just thought it was cool to see a G.I. Joe that was a F-22 design. $205 on 22 bids.
Check out the seller.
Who's the seller? Mars Industries.
Destro.
That's Drew?
No, it's Destro. Mars.
Destro. Oh, yeah. Destro. Yeah. You're right. Yep. So I don't know where this came from, but it's cool. You guys will have to tell me in the chat. All right. Next. This is another Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. Look how beautiful it looks, like it was never used, you guys. I mean, comes with the original send away for it. $700 on 27 bids.
Steal. I would have jumped on that if I'd seen it.
Oh man, one of the grails of GI Joes right there.
It looks so clean.
It does. It looks beautiful. Look at that. Like even the arm, the shoulder screws are dark blue. Oh man.
I mean, not a touch on any of the paint.
There's no paint issues on the helmet.
I swear that's like
Look
the
at
prettiest
that.
one I've seen.
Look at that. That symbol is cleaner. That it's never been touched.
That's the problem. It feels like they fade out in that middle section.
Or they flake off.
Yeah. Man.
Yep. So there's your Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. How about this one? I've never seen this. Have you ever seen this? 2018, 1985 G.I. Joe Fest Convention Unmasked Snake Eyes. I don't know what this is.
What?
I have never seen that.
No, I've never seen that.
Joe Fest 2019. Here's the card.
Looks like Toxic Avenger,
right? So I have never seen this. There we go.
77 bids. Yep.
Look at that. So
wow,
something new every day. Never seen that. It comes. There's the head. I wonder if this was made custom or something. But $400 on 77 bids.
Yeah, because I mean, crazy. I know the only one I've got a Snake Eyes where he doesn't have a mask is the one where he comes in the pack with Storm Shadow and Stalker back from, I guess it's the original issues back when they were in the war, and you just have it. You have nothing on his face, just the hat, so it just has the shadow, just like it was in the comic book.
Yeah, very cool. I have the unmasked Storm Shadow ones. I have a ton of those. Fan made says Wonderworld last official Joe-Con was 18. So that's very interesting. What does it say on here? It says ultra rare Joe Fest convention, unmasked Snake Eyes, never opened, never displayed, beautiful piece. Believe less than 100 of these exist in collectors' collections. So there you go. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Next, we have got one of the coolest G.I. Joe figures ever. A figure that I still don't have in my collection that I'm still searching for. This is the Night Force Shockwave figure. Now, some of you guys are like, oh, that looks like regular Shockwave. No, the regular Shockwave is much light bluer, and this one's like a really dark, almost black. Really, really cool figure. Very, very rare. Came in a 3-pack. You can get the 3-pack. It came with a backpack and the gun and the pistol. So this is graded 85, 10 bids, $255. Really, really cool figure.
Oh, it's in UKG too. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's another Tool poster. Have you guys ever seen this?
No.
Concert
Orlando Frank Frazetta girl.
Cool.
How awesome. I have never seen that. It's like foil. February 8th, 2022, numbered to 580. Yeah. It's got the mushrooms. I love the little mushrooms. But yeah, Frank Frazetta, you guys. Sarah Frazetta. I didn't know that. Wow. So $405 on TED bids for that. All right. Look at this. We talked about the Beatles record last week, the one where they're pulling the baby apart. This is the version that before they could send them back and make new ones, they just sent these little things that you would paste on them, and it's them in the suitcase. And you could see it got ripped off, and they are pulling the baby parts apart. So this is yesterday and today. It sold for $411 on 17 bids. It's the Second State stereo paste over album. So cool history right here. Nirvana. We talked about Shane last week. How about this one? This is a ticket stub. Yeah. From the 1991 Halloween show with Mudhoney, Bikini Kill. Like it says here, original ticket stub from Nirvana's legendary 91 Halloween homecoming show at Paramount Theater in Seattle. This concert filmed and released as live at Paramount. As such, it is one of the most famous gigs the band played and early on the Nevermind tour. And Mudhoney and Bikini Kill were the opening acts listed on the ticket. Freaking awesome. Sold for $400. Here's the back. Very cool, man. Love it. Even a torn up stub is worth good money. So that's cool. But so is this. Kurt Cobain original drawing and signed. Look at this.
What?
Yeah. To the underbelly. Oh, yeah. In a freaking second, man.
Dude, I'd have bought that. But yeah. How do you know? How do you know that it's...
Let's see what it says. I have sold most of my collection on eBay over the past 3 months, and I wanted to thank everyone who's helped me. I'll be listing my final items in the next few days. Kurt Cobain, original drawings and inscription signed Kurt. This final Nirvana item I've been lucky enough to collect enough to personally obtain items from the band in the past. This is an item that I bought on eBay in 2001. I believe it is 100% genuine. I have been collecting items for many years. So, you're kind of taking a flyer on this one, but I don't know. Maybe it's worth it.
Yeah.
Might be worth it. So,
I mean, if it was,
it might be exchanging some messages with this person if I was paying for that. Also, they're in London, which makes it a little, I don't know. Tougher. Yeah, very tough. So very cool stuff.
love this type of memorabilia and collector's item stuff. So, all right, that is the market report for March 7th, 2022.
Can I add any VHS tapes to the market report?
Of course you can, brother.
So how do I do that?
Well, just you got a link?
Yep.
Shoot me a link in the private chat. You see where the private chat is? Can you click the private chat?
Like the VHS heads or in through the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
or
so
you can send it to me. Let me see here. That's a way to do it. Yeah, through the computer would be the best, unfortunately.
Okay. I can try.
Or you could just tell me and I can look it up.
Look up Chopping Mall under VHS.
Okay.
CHOPPING Mall sold listings. That first one showing up.
Oh wow, yeah. Hold on here. Very cool. All right, here we go. Oh Jesus.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So this is
look at that.
And so this is one of the most sought after horror tapes. Just open. This tape sells for a few $100. But not only is this tape like sealed and in mint condition, this is the artist's copy of it.
Oh my God.
So the artist also like did that painting. And this artist is like the most famous artist you've never heard of. This guy did like the cover of Fantasia. He's worked on countless Disney projects. Like this guy is super well-known art. Well, not super well-known, but should be a super well-known artist. His stuff is absolutely phenomenal. The Corey Wolf. And if you just look him up, corywolf.com.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's fantastic. And anyways,
signed too. That's awesome.
I've got a copy. I've only seen 3 of these. I've only seen 3 of these sealed ever. One of them is going to be in the Heritage auction.
So I think at this point, any old school horror, you might as well just take a flyer on it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I think it's going to be a lot like pre-code horror collecting, and especially for ones like these. Like it's just with the coolest covers, and also when the movie's kind of interesting because this is about like killer robots inside of a shopping mall. So it's cheesy and weird, but it's also like it's fun. It's a fun one. But then you got one that's like a crowd favorite, like Maniac, for instance.
Oh yeah.
Like this is hardcore horror slasher like lovers, like real horror fans love this movie. Really love this movie because it's actually a good movie. Chopping Mall I wouldn't say is a good movie, but it's fun. But anyways, like these are high-end horror ones. Another one you should look up is Return of the Jedi that just sold today.
Wow. Yeah. We were talking about that the other last week. Another one sold, one recently, one sold last week too, right?
I don't know about a first release, but this one was for first release. Return of the Jedi just sold tonight.
All right. Hold on here. What the hell? Authorized. I don't want it authorized. Terms accepted. I don't want those either. There we go.
But yeah, that Chopping Mall is really cool.
Wow. $7,000.
Wow.
Yep. And I actually think that kind of sold a little bit low in my opinion. I think that's got a lot of room to grow. That's the very first release of Return of the Jedi from 1986, I believe. Might be 87. I think it's 86 though. And yeah, I mean, it's great condition, really cool. 2-tone tape. Sick.
So could you just find the tape and the tape be worth money and something like this for the 2-tone tape or stuff like that?
Well, yeah, but not like much money. I mean,
okay.
But I don't know if it's $100 or if it's $50 or something like that, but I'm sure it's something like that.
Are the price disparities?
It's not like Chopping Mall. It's not like Chopping Mall, for instance, where that's a sought after tape that open. There's another tape I got here.
What were you going to say, Sean?
Well, I'm kind of wondering if the price disparities are similar for comics. Like, I know, a brand new comic. There's no more brand new VHS. So basically, like, the age of the golden age of comics or whatever for VHS. But like, if so, you're at Goodwill and you find some shit and it's beat up. Let's call it the equivalent. I grade things like comics or cards or something. Let's call it the equivalent of like a 3 or a 4. Is it that going to be the difference between like something that low a grade older between that and like a 9.8? Do you know what I'm saying? Like the price scale for VHS, just because they're so rare when they're pristine, worth like even 100 times more instead of 10 times more.
Well, that's something
low grade to high grade.
Well, that's something that we're going to really see, because at first with video games, there really wasn't much of a price difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8. Now there's a huge price difference between them.
Okay.
I think kind of at the beginning, people were just trying to get copies and not care so much about the grade as long as they, had one. And I think that's sort of the stage that VHS is in right now. Obviously, I think the prettier the item is, the more someone's willing to spend on it. But like, I think right now about the really rare stuff, if you just got to get it, it's because you don't know how many are out there. And for some of them, there might not be sealed ones out there. There just genuinely might not be. Like Halloween, for instance, which came out in 1978. I mean, there might not be a sealed Halloween out there. I've seen one sealed second release Halloween, and that was ridiculous. That was like that tape's the coolest tape I've ever seen. And I know who owns it.
Yeah, I think one of the differences, it seems to me, talking about this, is that it doesn't feel like very many people on this planet ever thought VHS would be collectible. Whereas people have known comics have been collectible, comics, cards, etc. Like that, it's produced to be enjoyed but also collected. VHS was like, who freaking cares, dude?
Well, that's not exactly true. So there's always been a really strong VHS collector base, but it was more so for fun. And people would buy sealed VHSs for a premium, but like maybe for double the price. And that was so they had like the ritual of opening it and watching it for the first time.
Okay.
So that's how VHS collectors were. But initially, I mean, VHSs were always collected. Even from the get-go, they were designed to be collected and made into like a library. That's why they had drawer boxes. And that's why they made them look so pretty on the shelf, like just from like, looking like bookshelves, because they were designed to be like that. But, over the years, people stopped caring, but not everybody. And there's still a huge, huge community of people that, really collect this rare stuff, like Chopping Mall, for instance. That has always been $200, $300 tape open. And now with things, escalating, we'll see where those end up. This one that I've got in my hand right here, this is one of the best horror tapes, period. This is Black Devil Doll from Hell. It's considered the second most valuable open horror tape. And like I paid $2,000 for this, and it's open. And it's historically sold for $2,000. It sold for $2,000 last year. It sold for, I think one sold on eBay that the cover was like a photocopy, and it sold for like $800 or $900. So like, I mean, this super, super sought after tape. So it's going to be cool to see where these go. Because they're not the same mainstream genre, but then you see what pre-code horror's done and what pulps have done, and you see how awesome the artwork is. You kind of get entranced by it. And I think that's going to be a really collectible thing, because, people love movie posters, but you can't put them on your wall.
Well,
and honestly, do you ever bother to watch? Like either whether or not it's digital or to use your tape, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't feel like, unlike a comic, like it doesn't feel like you're gonna hurt it by put it in it. And I know you're not gonna unseal something, Jesus, but like, you know what I mean? Like if you get like the one you just had in your hand, would you pop that in and watch it? Or you
no,
just watch it
I
digitally?
don't own a VCR. I don't. but that's not the point, really. I mean, I'll look up the movie and I'll watch it online, in better quality. I'll do that kind of thing.
So, are you a horror fan, or are you just enjoying collecting the genre?
Well, I was always a pre-code horror collector when it came to comic books. That's what.
But I mean horror movies.
Horror movies. I wouldn't say I was a horror movie fan, but the artwork is definitely what drew me into it. But that being said, I mean, I still like horror movies. I went to go see all the Saw movies when I was a kid, and and if I hear about any good ones, the most recent one that I saw that was any good was what Hereditary that came out just before COVID. That movie scared the fucking shit out of me. That was a
Evil Dead
movie. Evil Dead, that's fantastic, and that's really not like a terrible price for that movie. That's a later release, though. Keep that in mind. That's
what are the two grades? I know with action figures, you've got the bubble, the card, and the figure, but I keep seeing two grades. Is one the case and one the plastic?
Seal in the box. But then they make it. Then there's 3 grades underneath each one of those that they average together to make that one grade, which isn't something that I like that they do. Because you could have like a 10-10-4, like for the seal, for instance, it's graded on tightness, edges, and surface. So if the surface is like fucked with like a tear ripped through it, but it's perfectly tight and there's no rips on the corners. So now you got 10-10-4. Now you've got what is that? An 8? That's it shouldn't be an 8 then. What they do in cards to fix that is you can only have it be 1 point higher than the subgrades. So in a card, if you have 10, 10, 6, 9, the best it can be is a 7. Like that's a perfect example of it. That Jaws right there has a giant rip on it. And I mean, it's still graded a 5.5. So, that one actually turned out for kind of okay. But
this is just bonkers that some of these, I mean, Masters Universe, the movie, 12 grand.
Well, a lot of these are wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Right? These are more.
Here's the Diet Pepsi.
This is how stupid my eBay store is too, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll sell, but I don't want to get caught with my pants down. So
it's gonna be interesting to see because these are like the real tapes, and in all the auctions that have sold so far, there haven't been real scarce items sold. So when the Heritage one comes up, there's the Batman that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
When these actual scarce tapes come up and we see what those bring, that's going to be really interesting to see how that kind of changes. Because now there's really high prices on Star Wars's, and that's a late release, Never Ending Story.
Look at this.
That's actually really dope.
Yeah.
That's actually really dope. That's probably not a bad price. For an early Dumbo like that. That's really cool.
This is just bonkers. It's really cool.
And they're like mini movie posters. That's what I love about them.
Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I think you're right about the investment, and not that clearly I know anywhere near what you've been teaching us tonight about this, but also digging these out isn't gonna be digging out sealed VHS is not going to be an easy task.
Insane.
This. So, but you can, if there's a time to go find it, this shit's all going to be gone in 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's already way different from what it was 6 months ago. I mean, the stuff that you could buy then versus now. I mean, eBay's barren. Still, things show up, and then there was definitely market correction over
Brian,
the.
Did you see that Iron Maiden?
Yeah.
Live After Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. That one's really cool. They have a Doors one too, I think. I was actually tempted to buy it. Really cool Doors one.
Frankenhooker. 28 grand. That's awesome.
That's a little bit of wishful thinking on that Frankenhooker, but that still is. That's a top tape.
It's wishful thinking until the rich guys get involved.
Well,
and then the people that $28,000 means nothing to them.
There's your.
Then they got their Frankenhooker, and we don't.
$5,000 for my Frankenhooker. And I don't think it was a bad buy. So
the Warriors, 1,400 nerds, 14,000, dude.
Yeah, that's a scarce movie too.
37,000 for First Blood.
And I mean, who knows? I mean, Terminator just sold for 32,000, 32.5. It's gonna be cool to see. It's gonna be cool to see that Blade Runner. That's also like, because Blade Runner was a flop when it came out. It was really similar to the
spectacular movie. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but when it came out, it wasn't, because it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
It was really similar to Justice League, where there was some tragedy and the director couldn't finish the movie. So it had to be re-released like 2 or 3 times before it was actually finished. So it was initially like, I mean, it was just an unfinished movie. And then it eventually became the masterpiece. But like, to get an original Blade Runner, it wasn't printed heavily at all. And it wasn't that sought after. So to get a Blade Runner, that's scarce.
This is wow.
That one's nuts. 10-10 double. Yeah. That's sick. That one's sweet. Return of the Living Dead.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is cool. It's cool to see new areas of collecting and
absolutely.
And, it's just fun to watch. It's fun to watch. Look at this. Remember the old Legend of Zelda? Oh my god.
I think that's first Zelda in like a movie or something like that.
First Zelda episode. Really
cool. It's gonna be a fun year to see. Once the Heritage auction happens, that's when I think things are gonna really take off, because it's gonna be scarce.
When is that supposed to be?
It's scheduled right now for April 21st. There's a chance it gets pushed back just because of grading times, but not by much. But should be happening soon.
We'll have to have you on for sure around that time.
I'm gonna make you.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. That's a lot of fun.
There's one I'd like to talk about on there if you go back to it.
Yeah, which one?
On the Batman theme, if you go to Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Oh yes, I saw that. Why was that so expensive?
Because it was never supposed to be a VHS. Like, wow. I mean, dude, this movie is impossible. Like,
when did they stop doing VHS? Like, I wouldn't think
find it open. You can't even find that movie open. Like, that's like a $200 movie open.
Yeah, when did they stop? How many years were VHS produced?
2006. 20 years? 2006. The last VHS tape, the last commercial release VHS tape was The History of Violence.
So you just look for anything 2000s in the 2000s for VHS, basically.
You can get those are really, really rare, some of them, and like really sought after. So Batman Begins, that's the only sealed Batman Begins I've ever seen. That's a really, really cool tape. I've got like 40-Year-Old Virgin. I've never seen another 40-Year-Old Virgin. I've got Narnia. I've never seen another Narnia.
Oh my god, I remember that movie.
These ones that are like really late are really cool. Best one that I've got is Cars. I'd have to go to a different room to grab it, but Cars Open sells for $1,000 to $2,000.
Wow!
And that one came out in 2007 because it wasn't a commercial release to VHS tape. It was, you had to be part of a special Disney club, and it was given to only those Disney club members. So the print run of it is minimal. And like, to get a sealed one, I have the only sealed one I've seen. So who knows? But yeah, they sell for $1,000 to $2,000 open.
That's amazing. Yeah. Vinny, I like Vinny Kumar. Shout out Vinny Kumar. He says, because people are asking, can you find these at yard sales? And he's saying, no, it's already tough to find them at yard sales.
Dude, people flood them at yard sales now. It is crazy. Yeah. The thing, you can find them. You absolutely
give ours away.
But you are. It is lottery. It is absolutely lottery. I mean, you can find them at thrift stores or anything like that. I paid $11,000 for a first release Back to the Future that a guy got for like $5 at a estate sale. I
love flip like that.
A friend of mine that found a first release Goonies beta tape at a thrift store or one of those like thingies for $37, and that's worth I don't know. The only Goonies on eBay right now, VHS is listed at $1 million. I got offered $16,000 for my late release Goonies. His is a first release Goonies in beautiful condition, and but it's a beta tape. Keep in mind it's a beta tape, but beta tapes are more scarce in 1986. So I mean, it's really cool. So that'll be cool. That's going to be in the Heritage auction. That's going to be cool to see what that sells for.
Yeah, this is definitely fun to look through and go through and see the ones that now we can start putting in our Rolodex in our head to if we see them, grab them, that type of shit.
Yeah. Absolutely. And once it'll start making a lot more sense once it really gets more mainstream. Right now it's very Wild West and it's really kind of a petty game. There's a lot of fighting online, a lot of fighting between grading companies, when it really should just be, look, like we're all in this together. It should be more kind of community based. Like kind of how I wish comics were. Comics is super, super community based, which I love about it. Then you get into like cards. Cards is a little more schemy. Video games is a little schemy.
I have this right here, unopened, because I never opened it. This salival limited edition tool. It was a VHS CD, and
cool.
yeah. Wow.
So there's all these ways to invest monies, all this shit. Who knows? You could have like retired a millionaire by buying like 100 sealed VHS tapes in the 80s.
Yeah.
Seriously, I wish my parents hadn't opened those Motown VHSs.
Yeah, oof. You should have bought Spider-Man 300 instead. That would have been cheaper.
Jesus. I mean,
that's the thing. Also, in the 80s, these tapes they went up to like 100. They sold up to $120, between $80 and $120.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hit share, did I? This right here. That's crazy. $200, $300 for it. There you go. All right.
That's cool.
Yeah, Salival was sealed. Sealed was a few hundred a long time ago. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, the Salival has a really good no quarter cover, or Led Zeppelin song that Tool does that you can only find on there. Well, back then you could only find it on there. All right. You guys want to get into pickups and then end the show?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I got something.
Okay.
All right. I tell you what. You're talking about pulps. I've shown this before. First cover of Conan. First Conan cover. Bought this a few years ago. This is the best.
I didn't realize Conan wasn't on the cover of his first issue. That's just some other random guy fighting.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the first Conan.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and
That's
this
so
is
cool.
Baylit as well.
That's so cool. What year is that one?
1934. So this is
that's on my radar.
May 1934. And this is what, like about a year and change after he debuts. So
that's a great one. That's sick. That was a good condition too.
Love this. Okay. Let's get into some 80s toys. I'm going to show this off. Okay, so we have the Secret Wars Wolverine. I'll leave it in the plastic. But check out, it's sealed. But
wow, silver claws.
Yeah, the claws are attached when they should be in this little section right here.
Yep, and they're silver, right? The other ones are black.
Yeah, and here's my black claw one. Mine is great. It's graded.
Nice.
I think it's like an 8.5 or something like that. But yeah, I saw it. I'm just like, why not? So
did that come out in a different country or later? Do we know what?
No, it's just like some sort of anomaly.
Yeah, I remember that big time back in the day.
Yeah, but
like when I learned about collecting and finding the variations.
Yeah, but he should not be wearing his claws.
That's awesome.
So, okay. Last weekend, I had probably the best day of comic book collecting this year in 2022. So we're going to start things off with Star Wars 10
Nice.
For $2. First appearance of Darth Crate.
No. Arsharad Het, not Darth Crate. He's not.
Yeah.
Darth Crate. Yeah. You gotta say that.
Yeah, we gotta qualify shit when it comes to comic books.
Yeah.
So we got this, and we found 2 copies for $2 a piece. 2 for 2.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, Lord. Also, we got some more. We got 2 copies of Aura Sing.
Yep.
For $2 a piece.
Beautiful.
Love that. Tag and Bank.
Oh yeah.
Darth Plagueis.
Darth
Plagueis.
The wise.
Yeah. You know how I know about Darth Plagueis? Because if you read the episode, the Revenge of the Sith novel, they talk about Plagueis a lot in there, and that Revenge of the Sith novel is so much better than the movie. Trust me.
Okay. This was $2. What does this thing go for? I forget.
It's a decent book.
Yeah. Okay, so we got some low grade keys. Got some low grade keys. Spidey 316. Woo! This was $20, and you can see it's like water damage. It's like all puffy. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course. Yeah. And the colors on it. Yeah. First, it's I mean, you can see the colors on this are still gorgeous.
Looks good.
Yeah. So for $20 on it, this was $35. First Brother Voodoo.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
you're right. This wasn't a bad day.
Yeah. I'm like, hell, I found more.
Were you at a convention or?
No, this is just me
going. Local shops?
I went to 3 stores. This was like me just going to 3 stores. Strange Tales 169. Again, probably I would say this is a good, and maybe I can press this out to a VG minus. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got this for $35. This was 20.
Underrated book there.
No, 25. Yeah, first Deathlock. What? First George Perez.
Yep. Double.
Yeah, mainstream work. You can see there's a spray. You got spray. But for $25, I was on it. And this was $2. Web of Spider-Man 118.
Ben Reilly.
Yeah, first Ben Reilly. Oh, and one more. I'm gonna. Oh shoot! How can I forget about this? I'm a huge Valiant fan. We got Solar, Alpha, and Omega. This is a slipcase hardcover. This thing is really tough to find anymore, and it's still sealed up. I love sealed shit.
Very cool.
I believe in popping tags. So this thing goes for about. I got this for I believe $20, and it goes for about 70. So love Valiant. As far as Jim Shooter and Barry Windsor Smith go, like those two, to me they're on par with Kirby and Lee. They're not as prolific, but I mean the smart writing and the beautiful pencils and just overall artwork is just they're beautiful work together. And I'm gonna talk about one more pulp. This is my favorite. I only have 2 really good pulps. Startling Stories from 1950, the robot cover. I got this for like $20 at a pulp show.
It's a cool looking cover. I know nothing about pulp, but that looks great.
Like, yeah. So yeah. All right. So that's all I got. And Wednesday, we got some CGC shit to go through on my channel. So
nice.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
I'll go. Okay. Whoever, doesn't matter. Whoever's ready.
So shout out to Phil, Vintage Comics and Toys. Got these on his sale. I think Sean and I might have been on the same one. So this is the first Hondo.
Apparently.
And the first Kanan. 110 variant.
Wow, nice.
And this was not from Phil's show, but again, I say it almost every week. You can never have enough miles. Just
no.
Then I finally actually had a chance to kind of go through and just dig a little bit this past weekend. Went through the quarter, 50-cent, and dollar boxes. This might have been my best one. So this was a quarter.
Oh shit, 3, huh?
Yeah, believe it or not, this is actually the second one I found in the quarter box because they're $1 on one day and they naturally go down. And then if you go on Friday, they're 25 cents.
Was it already bagged and boarded even?
No, there's no bags and boards. It's literally just, yeah.
I was going to say, because bags and boards are damn near a quarter. So.
Well, this shop charges for bags and boards on the comics, but it's pretty clean because there's a lot of books that are just beat up in there.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about Wonder Twins the other day. So I found 2 of these, the number ones for 50 cents.
Nice.
This was 50 cents. First Vengeance. This is 50 cents.
That book's, much less 50 cents. That book's just a good pickup. I've been paying more than 50 cents for it, though. I'll tell you that.
Which book? Let me see.
Ghost Rider 21.
Oh, yeah. Love that cover, too.
Yeah.
Great cover.
Try to find the Newsy.
Oh, gosh. Well, actually, speaking of Newsies, I did find this one. So X-Men 36, the first sync. This is a newsstand. This was a buck.
Nice.
I feel like Sync's a little underrated if you're reading the new X-Men run, especially with his relationship with X-23. Feels like maybe when X-Men kind of come into the world, maybe they'll come around. I found 2 of these in the dollar bin. I think it's the first Emmanuelator. I know I'm probably butchering that, but I know she is. Is it Emulator? And she, I think, is kind of against like Miss Marvel and Squirrel Girl. So I figured maybe she shows up or anything with kind of some of the things coming out. Buck on those is probably worth getting.
I just got I just got a newsstand Squirrel Girl Night 8.
Ooh,
just got
nice.
that.
Nice,
There
man.
you go.
Another undervalued book for sure.
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl.
This was $2. It's got a little bit of color rub on the side here, but $2 for that one. And then this was the one I found that I really was excited about. Some of the first John Royals are hard to find on the subcover for G.I. Joe. So this was $2. But I think the only one I've seen list on eBay is around 40 or 50.
I noticed those John Royal covers are pretty. Those are good covers, and they don't go for that much.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
JSC Juniors, John Royal.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and because there's a local shop that Aaron and I go to here, and they've got 5 or 6 different shops, and you can find they have back issue sales and everything's half off, and you can find some of the 1 in 10 variants that he's done, and they'll be once they're marked down like $3. So I try and pick up as many of those as you can. Just a few other things. So I know I talked about these before. I think I picked up 4 or 5 of these. Miles 15. It's the first preview for Strange Academy. So when you get into the back, there it is. It actually has the cover, the Ramos cover in the back in the first few pages. So keep an eye out for those if you see them.
Can you hold that up again?
Yeah.
Was it 15?
And there are actually 2 covers. So.
Dude, I've been 9.8 in this random Miles books, and they sell for fucking good money.
Yeah.
And then I picked up about 5 or 6 of these. This is an 18-second print. So this is the first Miles print.
That's one of them. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Cover price. All these Miles books for $3.99. And then just
wish
real
I lived in
quickly,
Civilization.
I picked up 2 more of the Spider-Man or Star Wars 20s. The first Elzar Man.
Okay, so what's the rap on that character, Elzar Man?
He and Avar Chris, and I always miss up the other guy. They're kind of like some of the main trio from the High Republic.
Yeah.
So whenever that eventually comes, and I think it was on the direct.com last month, they're going to be doing they're ready to go on the High Republic series, and they're going to actually launch it towards teens. So, but I imagine eventually down the road, he'll make his appearance somewhere. just a question of when and where.
All right.
And kind of same with these. Bounty Hunters 14. The one that has death sticks on the cover is definitely more expensive than the other two. So I got these off eBay, and I got them all for about $250. And the death, it's the first appearance of death stick, but if you actually go in about halfway in the book, it mentions Death Watch, and it has Bo-Katan in there.
Ooh.
So that's the first. I know some people talk about the book that came out, years ago for the clones. That's the first appearance of Bo-Katan. But if you actually want the first comic, one that's cheap that she's in, and she'll be in Ahsoka, and she's getting her own series, feels like a cheap buy.
Bo-Katan.
So that's Bounty Hunters 14.
Nice. All right, Sean, you're up.
All right. Well, since apparently we went VHS, I need somebody to find me a particular VHS.
Yeah.
It's called LA Goddess. It was filmed around the corner from my house, and when I was about 13 or 14, and I was in that movie walking behind 1985 Playmate of the Year, Kathy Shower.
Guys,
Can't really fucking tell it's me, but I swear to God, I was eating. There's a restaurant and hotel connected, and I went there to meet my parents for dinner, and they like grabbed me and go through there, and then I figured out who I'm in the movie with. So my friend the other day, it was sitting on my table. It was a month or a couple months ago or something. He bought for me the LA Goddess movie poster.
Nice.
Because this is Big Leg's first IMDb credit. Although I'm not actually on IMDb, and I signed a thing that I wouldn't be on there, but that's Playmate of the Year Kathy Shower. Now I'm in this movie. If you could find me an LA Goddess OG, I got you. And I'm probably
LA Goddess OG.
The OG, you can find me the VHS for this movie. I will definitely pay you for it. I actually have a VHS copy of it, but it was definitely a copy, like a bootleg, like Amazon shit. So anyway, that's been sitting over there for a while for my friend. Tonight's the night. So that's what's going on.
That might be doable. 1993.
LA Goddess, man. Write it down. Like there's like a golf course community where I grew up and stuff. They he was like sucking her boobs on the golf course. It was they pretended it was a beach. Like it was amazing. Anyway, I wasn't in that scene, but so anyway, that was just going on. So I had three shout outs to first my man Drew over at Wanted Comics, and my man Big Clutch over at Comics Vault Live, aka Skybound. Well, Skybound Sellers, but he worked at Skybound, and so we Drew set it up because Souza Micah. So got to meet Souza Micah, had lunch with her on Tuesday, the four of us. You can see that autograph is real. It came on it. It's already been given away. I just didn't mail it today on Whatnot, but she's the one also did that Catwoman is 89 from a month ago. The second print just sold out. Anyway, an amazing up and coming artist. I know there are a lot of people legitimately fighting for her work. Like I got to hear firsthand of people fighting for her work. Awesome human, super cool, and yeah. So yeah, and this. I mean, come on. This is the Red
She's got a nice script on her signature.
What? No, how?
She has a nice script.
Look at that Stig. Straight up. Look at that Stig.
Great. Yeah. I like how she puts a star on there too.
That is badass. I don't know if they all get stars, but this one did. So there's that. So it was a great time. So very, very down to earth, wonderful person with a good insight of what's going on in the industry. Is really, 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 really nice to meet her. That doesn't get to meet a bunch of people that often that are in with that stuff. I think everybody was trying to order these until they sold with the negatives. So I did get some of these. I think this one's labeled first. I forget. Some are the holiday special. They're almost the same. They sold out on John Tyler Christopher's website like fairly quickly. I forgot I was actually even able to get one, but they already came out in 98 before I sold them. Yeah, and that's actually, see that line that looks like his thigh or something? Like that's the signature, actually. On
really?
That. Yeah, so he didn't go for it. He didn't do like a J. Scott Campbell, like 15 times you need to see your signature on there. You know what I mean?
Cool.
That's
cool. I
the
like that.
CFS. That's
Yeah,
I do
it's
too.
subtle.
Yeah, it's super cool. I was gonna buy it on a flip, and I was like, I want to keep this. This is awesome. So there's that. Same as we do. We laid off the whatnot today, but Javon Jordan with his first. If you guys remember last week, still in reach range. How Javon Jordan doing the salve. They did the reprint that they were selling on there. I forget how more rare or whatever the red cover is. I didn't pay that much attention. I got it from Skeleton Key Comics. They're really nice people. You can see their imprint on whatnot quite often. And really, really nice people. And then a couple of you guys saw it before the show, but again, from Phil's, he got these in the collection. So these are Ken Heiser actual with COAs, straight up sketches on the Garbage Pail Kids blank, and this blank is tough to find. Gross Encounters of the Turd Kind, right? And so these came up, and I was like, and I saw Phil selling them, and he is a good friend of mine, and I was like, nobody knew this. I wasn't going to lose these auctions. Pretty much is how that was going to go. It's pretty much how that was going to go. You're on the other one first, ran this one, and I think it's amazing. I think people know, not most people. Brian and I did a GPK show a couple of years ago together, just to have some fun. So those are the main ones. I did go digging. I'm not going to show all this stack because you guys don't care, but like, let me see what we got here. I did get to go digging after we met Soza Micah, and so in Burbank. So you don't always see all the AH Wonder Womans around that much, and I don't feel like they've always gotten their love, to be honest with you. So at the right price, which is basically like $5 or less, I grabbed the AH Wonder Womans because I think they're great. I think he's done a good job on those for a long time. What else I have over here? Another Campbell's Spider-Man Sweet Charity. You don't see that very often, and decided that it needed to go home with me and go to the Campbell box. I'm not going to show these all one at a time because I don't need to. But when you find, to me, X-Men under 200 for like a few bucks each, you kind of go for it.
Just take them.
Yeah, you just take them. You know what I mean? All this stuff, and they even had multiples, but I just grabbed the ones. I'm gonna either take the ones. Some of their books for $2.99, some are like $6.99. I don't know why. But I just go highest grade versus price in this stuff. X-Men have always been a good investment. They're still going to be. Thought this was cool. Thought it might sell for more, but I found a near mint plus Sabretooth newsstand, and just like this is part of my childhood right here. So I find a newsie for that higher grade that's probably worth grading. And when you see, for some reason, a Lady Mechanica 2 incentive variant. I mean, I love Benito's art, so I actually think it's $4.99.
Tough book, yeah.
Yeah, it's an incentive for number 2, which is her third appearance because it did start at 0. I don't think people realize that a lot. Other stuff, I just don't. Same. If you're just gonna random Venom and Carnage stuff, you're like, you probably don't leave that alone. Probably just take it with you. Let me see what I have here. This is one I actually didn't have, the Close Encounters of Turd Kind. I also wanted.
That's a cool. I would pick up any.
I think this was the last one. Yeah, but I think this is the last one I actually needed. So if I need it, that means it's tough to find. And I'm trying to be cool. Just
do the Garbage Pail Kids, are they like Transformers or G.I. Joe where they have 1 in 10 variants for IDW?
Yeah, there's one. I don't remember. This was a one shot. It doesn't say it on the cover.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was like 3 or 4 covers for this, and this particular one is one I didn't have. And I think it's the last of that little IDW run of Garbage Pail Kids that I didn't have. This shout out to what was it? Oh, Birdman Comics. They were cool. Won this on Whatnot. This is the 1 in 500 Buscema for Superior #1. So a tough book. You don't see this a lot, and even at that time, man, 1 in 500s are pretty tough, especially at that time. Actually, and then 6 more books. Another shout out to my man Big Clutch. So now I've got the I've got the Invincibles. So 1, 2, 3. They have all our seller's name on there. So the back of these comics, obviously I've shown this one before, but I happen to have the Adam Eve and the Omni Man. So thanks to him for those. I'm selling the Virgin ones, even though they're worth more. I like the trade, and the back of this says "Tales from the Flipside" in big leg. So how am I not going to keep some of that in your collection when your name's on it?
So you're in a movie and published.
Yeah,
movie
dude.
Star and okay.
A B porn and an indie comic. Where could you beat? And these were the last of the digs that day. I pulled these off his wall. So a couple of those. One of these. Price could have been a little better. I think I probably paid market, but sometimes a bird in the hands or 2 in the bush. I looked them out. I'll be able to press them and do decent with them. I don't know if I'm grading them or anything like that, but all this stuff just keeps going up and up and up. I don't like to leave it behind when I see it.
That's sure smart.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Why not? Like he's got 2 #1s right there in that store, so they got dates on them. It was 228, 228, and 228. So you must have got them in a collection. Well, I luckily walked in on like the 1st or something or whatever last Wednesday was, and I don't know. So anyway, that's all my books. It's all my books and a poster.
Not bad.
So LA got his VHS, guys. I want no G1.
Mikey, you got any pickups?
Yeah. I recently spent too much money on animation cells. That's what I'm here for. I got some really, really cool ones. I bought out one of my friend's collections. Well, actually, my friend bought out one of my friend's collections, and then I bought, basically.
You cherry picked it. Yeah.
So I'm a Dragon Ball Z nerd. So I got some of the best shots that, I can ever get my hands on. So right here, I've got one of the best Goku Kamehamehas, just beautiful, perfect shot. You never get to find things like this, where it also shows the aura and all that. Fantastic.
Sam from Modern Comic Mayhem is going to geek out over this stuff, man. He's super into anime.
Yeah, I guess I should, because most people don't really know like the price ranges of these things. So I guess I should talk about that a little bit.
Yes.
So, this is probably, I would say like $7,500. That's my guess. Maybe 10 grand to the right person. Because it's just, it's a perfect Goku action shot, close up. They never show up. This one right here, this is right when Trunks gets his sword. Trunks is hugely collectible. Probably worth, I don't know, 5 grand, something along those lines.
Unbelievable.
Great shot. Has the aura around him. People go crazy for the aura. People love the aura. They get better though. This one right here, fantastic. Majin Vegeta, matching background, fighting Boo. This one's stunning. This is probably $15,000.
Wow.
This one's
unbelievable.
This one's big money. This one's really, really great.
Unfreaking real.
Yeah, to get an actual key shot where this is when he's like, he's stopped being evil. He's now trying to help his friends again and defeat Majin Buu. So this is right before he ends up sacrificing himself to save everybody.
Mikey, are those signed by the artists in the corner?
So those are like kind of more like the notes. So those are like they're by the artists, but they're not like signed by the artists. You know what I mean? They're more like artistic notes, or like it'll say like which frame it is up in the corner for the whole like sequence, that kind of thing. But no, it's not like it's very, very rare to get any of the Dragon Ball Z artists' signatures. Akira Toriyama, who invented Dragon Ball Z, his signature with just like a Goku on it, $20,000-$30,000.
Wow.
That just for a signature, like $20,000-$30,000. Yeah, big money. Yeah, and a year ago you could have got one for like $10,000 or $15,000. So
unreal.
So this is just perfect. That's what this is called up there. That's called a Duga. So they first draw the Duga, and then they come out with this. And this is the best Super Saiyan 3 image I've ever seen. This is a Henkin cell. So this was used for one of the video game commercials. So a lot of people, some people prefer, getting stuff from the actual show. Some people prefer getting it from the movies because it's more detailed. Some people prefer getting them from advertisements because they're usually more detailed. So it kind of depends. So, but this thing's sick. I don't know. This could be worth $10,000. This could be worth $20,000.
Wow.
Who knows? That one's that's my favorite one that I've gotten recently. And then this one I just posted on my Instagram. Crowd favorite Broly. This is just after he goes into his super form and he beats up Gohan. And right underneath it, I've got the drawing also. These are sick. And, this is all the kind of stuff that you can get in the Heritage Auction coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, animation art, it has so much room to grow. So much.
I remember the last time you were on, you were going through some of this animation stuff. And around that time, it probably was, you were picking it up for half the price.
Oh, big time. No, I started aggressively buying. I've been buying for 2 years, but I've aggressively been buying for a year. And everything I've purchased, even if I overpaid, is at least worth double. It's like it's just gone up too much, But that's kind of like most collectibles in the last year have kind of gone to the moon.
Nice.
But there's a learning curve to this, and people haven't really figured it out here yet. So I think with that,
we'll be talking about it more for sure. So I'm sure people will be enjoying hearing about it more, man.
Oh, I think so. And there's also like your favorite cartoons, SpongeBob and all that kind of stuff. Like you can get
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead. Scooby-Doo, all that stuff. So it doesn't have to just be anime.
So I usually don't have pickups, and I picked up something pretty cool. Real quick, shout out to Uniform 13, who I bought a Department of Truth Nirvana variant off of him. Very cool. And he sent me freebies. He sent me a Bondage Wonder Woman. He sent me G.I. Joe, including Zartan, and then a Bolin Wonder Woman bondage. And then I picked up the John Jiang Pimp Daddy Destro, baby.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I got me one. So there are my pickups. Oh yeah, dude, it came. My dog's over here crying at me. She wants out, so I'll do it real quick. It came with the original, so that's the regular, and then this is the Pimp Daddy variant that they call Big Daddy.
Ooh. What book is it?
It's some G.I. Joe book. Frankly, I don't even care, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like it just makes
it harder for me to look for it.
Oh yeah.
No, it's all good. You don't have to open it, dude.
Yeah. Look up Big Daddy Destro variant, and you'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, awesome stuff. Shout out to everybody that's been in the show tonight. 107 till the end, or at the end, 3 hours long. Mikey, thank you, bro. You made this so much fun, dude. You don't know. Everybody in the chat is just saying how great the show was, and how much information has been thrown at them that they absolutely love. Usually, when we throw this crazy information at them, they're like, "Quit fucking talking about that shit." And now they're like, "Oh, give us more." So,
well, I'm full of useless information. I'm full of it. So
well,
that's why we're all here, dude.
Anytime, dude. Anytime.
Hell yeah!
Thanks for having me.
All right, you guys, appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and show love to everybody. We will see you next time. Adios.